back to Beyond Ball. It's your host, Jacob Mathern, and your co-host, Gabe Caraway. It's going to be a great episode. We had a little week off, dude, a little busy with schoolwork. But today, we have a few shout-outs here. One, Ghost. Gabe is drinking some sort of phase sponsorship over there.
Sour strips, bro.
Yeah. Please sponsor us. Please. A caffeine addiction.
I know it's great, yeah. It's great, Ghost.
Great, Ghost. But please sponsor us. I have caffeine addiction. It's bad.
Yeah.
Also, shout out Hughes Bars and Lounge. Shout out them. Also, shout out the Real app. I'm a stat sheet watcher at times, especially this college football weekend. But for all in all, shout out Real app. It's gonna be a great day. All right, this was a good weekend.
It was.
I'm tired. I was tailgating for most of Saturday.
I'm exhausted.
So I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of the games. But most of all, I still watch highlights. And let's just dive straight into this. We're going to go over our Player of the Week for college football week 3. You just go one by one. I'll do one. You do one, Gabe?
We can. I think we did like one of us goes and the other one goes.
Yeah.
Like with our whole group. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'll go and start off. First, I want to shout out Devontae Ross out of Troy. He had 5 receptions, 142 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Which, when you look at the stat sheet, that's not really that special. It's a really good game for receiver. But he also had a punt return touchdown. And so shout out him. Now, this is my favorite stat line I've probably seen. Nick Nash out of San Jose State, 17 receptions, 225 yards, and 3 touchdowns. What a guy. That's how you play football right there. Possession touch guy. He's going to play NFL roster. Next, out of Western Kentucky, the guy who replaced T.J. Finley, thank the Lord, Caden Beltcamp. He went 27 for 30, 298 yards, and 5 TDs. What a dog. And then I'm going to do a little bigger school here. We have Caleb Johnson out of Iowa, 25 carries, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns. And I know this guy is going to probably be on again because he's an absolute dog. But Marquise Cooper out of Buffalo, I fully expect him to come back on this list eventually because he's an absolute dog. He has 6 solo touchdowns, 1 sack, 1.5 TFLs, 1 interception, and 100-yard pick 6 off the interception as the safety position.
All right. I'll hop into my little bit of a bigger school. Dylan Gabriel, Oregon. Obviously had a great game in playing Oregon State this week. He was PFF, how much do we trust PFF and their ratings? I don't know. But they gave him a 95.8 adjusted completion percentage. I don't know how that works. He was 20 of 24, 291 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also had 4 for 64 yards on the ground. Showing a little bit of mobility there. It's not really his thing, but he can do it. Actually, I believe he had 2 touchdowns. I think I got it wrong in my notes. Rushing, he had 2 touchdowns. So, obviously, hope he can win the Heisman, so my pick is right. I'll move into... Yeah, I'll go into probably the smallest school on here, for sure, at least for me. Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Amari Kelly, the receiver, 9 catches, 239 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's just insane on 9 catches to do that. They were playing Western Kentucky, but yeah, Western Kentucky not known for
snooze fest.
Yeah, that explains your Western Kentucky quarterback why he had such a good game. And then another quarterback. Man, I've got another quarterback. I didn't even realize that. John Mateer, Washington State, charged with replacing Cam Ward this season. Played in the Apple Cup this weekend against Washington. The completion percentage, maybe not great. 17 for 34, 245 yards, touchdown. Did have an interception. But this is probably the toughest defense they'll play all year. Um, Especially, I don't even know what their schedule looks like, being only one of two Pac-12 teams left. Crying. Uh, but this man also had 16 carries for 62 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's pretty good. Um, Pretty good day for him. Again, tough defense he was playing. I mean, it's not Washington of last year, but for Washington State, maybe the toughest he'll face. And he's played good so far this year, replacing Cam Ward. Moving to my defensive players, I got Antoine Powell-Ryland from Virginia Tech, defensive tackle, playing once again. Last time we did this segment, I have someone who went off against Old Dominion. Sorry, Jacob. I know that's your team.
Hey,
This man had 4 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. He was out there tearing them up. I know this is the offensive line you were using on NCAA 25, so you could probably attest to it being horrible. And then, my goodness, I didn't even have the last guy in my notes. I'm looking at the graphic right now. At this point, we're pretty much out of control. I got Cam Lockridge, Fresno State Bulldog, defensive back. Had 6 tackles, forced fumble, but really you're here for the 2 interceptions versus New Mexico State. Now I'm not sure what burger flipper New Mexico State's got trotting out there every week throwing to the other team, but they may need to look in for other options, but they are Fresno State, New Mexico State, so we'll see. And that's going to round off both of our players of the week. I guess we can move into the Georgia-Kentucky game.
Yeah. This game kind of showed how Georgia's weapons aren't the best. Last year they had, Ladd McConkey was out for a lot of the year and injury riddled. You still have Brock Bowers. Absolute dog. But just like going in this game, I thought they were going to handle business. I don't think it was going to be an absolute blowout, but I thought they would still have handled the business they needed to do. And they just didn't. Carson Beck didn't look cute like a QB1 out of the NFL again, like he usually does. Trevor Etienne had 19 carries for 90 yards. So, there's things when you look at it that was good, but compared to last year's team and compared to that week 1 defense, week 1 Georgia team, you can tell there's a lot of flaws in Georgia's game that they haven't had in a while. No, that's not going to say anything that they're going to lose 4 games this year or 3 games this year. They may drop 1 or 2, but with that 12-team playoff, they're going to make playoffs no matter what. They're too good to leave out. Same thing with last year. They had 1 loss to Alabama, and they got left out of it just because of it. And then they took their anger out on Florida State. Now on the Kentucky side, I cannot pronounce his name to save his life. But Demi Sumo Karbujaputaya. Yeah. Great game out of the kid. 22 carries, 110 total yards. He had 2 receptions for 12 yards. He went straight at the Georgia's defensive line. Had 4.5 an average rushing yard. So, but Vandergriff wasn't great. He was okay. It's not like he wasn't the worst. Went 14 for 27, 114
He's
yards.
not going to win
no
you
touchdowns.
games, I don't think.
Exactly. He had 13 carries for 26 yards. That's diabolical. But the big thing about Kentucky was their defense stepped up. That South Carolina game must have woke them up or something. I don't know what happened there. I wish we could have talked about that last week because me and Gabe watched that game, and saw diabolical things happen to that Kentucky defense. But if I do remember. I did watch a little bit of this game. If I'm Mark Stoops, you gotta have play a better play call at the end of the game. First, you don't punt the ball on midfield. That's the one thing you just cannot do. You have a chance to win it. You have a chance to go.
Yeah.
You have a chance to keep driving, and you punt. It's.
Yeah.
I know he's not the best of coaches. He has been. He has had some great players like Lynn Bolden in the past. Um, this is not obviously not the best Kentucky team you had. That's like 2 years ago, 2022 Kentucky was 2021, 2022 Kentucky was a movie, absolute cinema. I didn't remember watching them and remember loving them a lot with younger Will Levis. And just all in
Yeah.
all, Georgia, it's okay. The Georgia's okay. Georgia's still one of the best teams in all of college football. There's no way around it. They just had an off game. And I believe once their weapons actually step up a little bit more, they're going to be perfectly fine.
Yeah. I mean, just give credit to the Kentucky defense here.
Exactly.
Great game at home. Georgia has done this in the past on the road against teams in the SEC. Kind of struggled, you know. Carson Beck really, I mean, it's not like he was out there throwing to the other team every play, but no touchdowns, 160 yards, 15 to 24. Like, this is a guy that has first round aspirations. This is a guy that just came off of, a really good year last year and had a pretty good start to the season this year. And Kentucky is by no means a world-beating defense. Turn on the South Carolina game, and you'll figure that out. Lenore Sellers, I mean, I got it right here last week. Even he put up 2 touchdowns. The yards weren't there, but you just like to see a little bit more out of your quarterback, especially one that's held in such high regard. I don't think this is going to be necessarily a game that carries for Georgia. I think these games do happen. Not normally to the number one team, but when you lose the production from Brock Bowers and Lad McConkey, obviously your weapons are going to take a dip. But things like 5 for 13 on third down, what are we doing? Like, what are we actually doing out here? That's pretty ugly. And getting gashed on the ground by I'm not even going to try to say his name.
I refuse.
You tried. That's going to be good enough. Yet their running back, Kentucky's running back, had 110 total yards on him, 98 on the ground. You just don't expect to see that from a Georgia defense to allow that, especially a Kentucky O-line. I can't name a player on their O-line who's held in high regard, at least. But, I mean, shout out. They were dominating. Georgia defense did have 3 sacks. ETN had a pretty good game on offense. They forced 3 fumbles, but they didn't force, they didn't really capitalize on them, which is kind of surprising when you get that. You said Brock Vandegrift. He's just not going to win you any games, but they leaned on their ground game, and it worked for most of the game. And then the 9 penalties by Georgia, I mean, that's really impressive to see from a team of their caliber. And that's a reason why it was a 1-point win. And also the play call by Kentucky and the decision. Kentucky, I didn't realize that they had an 11-minute time of possession advantage this game, 35-24 over Georgia. So just credit to the up front for Kentucky dominating on the ground. You don't normally see this against Georgia, but I don't think this is a game that's going to be indicative of how their season goes for Georgia. You kind of take the win and hope no one talks about it. Every team has those kind of wins. The LSU Nichols first half, I held that in similar regard. But yeah, I'm not too worried about Georgia. I think they'll bounce back. I can't remember who they're playing this week, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure they play. Let me check real quick. I thought it was Alabama for some reason. I think that bye week. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Um, but yeah, Georgia's okay. Hate to. They're going to just be just fine. Honestly, they're still one of the better teams in all of SEC and all of college football. But
Yep.
the game, I think that was cinema. Personally, I did get a chance to watch this game after, like at the tailgate. I sat
Yeah, they
down
have
and
Alabama in
watched.
2 weeks.
They have Alabama.
Georgia,
Oof.
Alabama. Yeah.
They better get ready for that one. Both teams.
In
That's gonna
Tuscaloosa.
be that's gonna be peak. Oh, peak football
That
right
is
there, son.
that is gonna be.
I'm so excited. But let's jump into the next game here. Two ranked teams. Number 24 Boston College going to I think at Branson, Missouri. I don't really know the University
Columbia.
Missouri's Columbia, Missouri. My fault.
Yeah,
Number
it's
6
Columbia.
Missouri. Boston College held its own. I'm gonna start off with that. Missouri's offense is a top 5 offense in all of college football. That's been proven time and time again.
Yep.
In a 6-point loss, that's a huge win in my book.
You take that. You take that.
Exactly. At halftime, it was 14-20, Missouri. And then, but this is where the Boston College should have kind of got some advantage. Third quarter, they held Missouri down to 7 points. Boston College did not score at all. And at that point, you lost the game. Because Missouri will slowly tire you out. Like time of possession, Boston College had 24 minutes. Missouri had 35. And that's huge. Missouri went 11 for 19 just on third downs. And the big thing that where Boston College lost at was the running game. They never got to establish the run. The running backs did not had like 12 total carries from what I'm looking at for about 30 yards. Their quarterback got 16 yards on the ground. Just for like a total perspective, it was 49 yards. Missouri had 179. Shout out
Nate Noel.
Nate Noel. Yeah, Nate Noel. I love Nate Noel. I actually really do like him a lot. Do miss Cody Schrader. Cody Schrader has a special place in my heart. He torched
Now
us
he's
last
running
year
over
at
LSU though.
Yeah, that's true. Noel went 22 carries, 130 yards. 121 yards. Had a catch for 9 yards. Luther Burden, great game. What a guy. 6 receptions, 117 yards, a touchdown. Brady Cook, he got done. I mean, that's all you can really say. 21 for 30, 264 yards, touchdown.
Rushing touchdown too.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, 6 carries, 6 yards, no rush touchdown. I just noticed that. But Boston College held its own. I'm actually love that for them. I was actually really scared for Boston College. I thought they were blown up by like 40 this week. But they held its own. Defense played really, really good.
Yep.
Their literally defense is, I want to say his name is KP Price. It's one of their DBs. I know he had 7 tackles for just 7 tackles, 2 assists that he kind of locked down their wide receiver 2. But the big thing with Boston College, you just have to get that run game going. You cannot rely on your quarterback. I think his name is Thomas
Castellanos.
Castellanos, thank you.
Yep.
I couldn't remember his last name. Castellanos had a good game, 16 for 28, 249 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yeah. Just had 2 interceptions.
Picks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's going to hurt a team, especially when you can't get run game going. You can't hold it. You can't hold the ball long enough. But all in all, Missouri, you got it done. It's still a great offensive showing. It wasn't like you're absolutely terrible. You should have lost this game. It was you got up at halftime. You never looked back.
Yeah. It was a good day by both teams. Great game. Missouri, obviously offensively we weren't pretty much no concerns coming into the year except maybe the ground game, and you see that answered here in this game. Um, it was the defense, and I mean credit to Boston College. Um, you distribute it. Castellanos distributed it to several receivers. Attacked the secondary that we had our concerns about. They lost a couple of guys to the draft. So, my concerns with Mizzou and their secondary still stand. I do. They can compete in the SEC East for sure. I mean, it's pretty much a two-man race in the East for the most part. I just think Boston College always. This is kind of reminding me of a game that most people probably wouldn't have predicted it was going to be close, and then the same as last year when they played Florida State in the red bandana game. I remember that game being very close.
Cinema.
Yeah, that was a great game. This is kind of like that. I just feel like they always play. This is the second year of them playing close in a game like this. And Thomas Castellanos playing, 249 and 3 touchdowns is a good game. It's just the 2 picks, but he still played well. So it does remind me of that game. They had 2 long touchdowns, 67 yards, and then a 38-yarder as well. Just big plays by Mizzou that they're going to have to contain once they get into deep into SEC play. But again, I went over this before the season. They have an easy schedule. So, this was a good test for them. This is going to be a rare test for them based off their schedule. And to be able to compete in the SEC, and obviously they're going to have aspirations of going to the SEC championship. This is going to be Brady Cook's last year. Luther Burden, I don't see why he would come back after this year. So this is really their year if they're going to make it to the SEC championship. And I'm pretty confident they're going to be able to compete. Another thing, 8 penalties in this game, kind of like Georgia. You got to clean those up.
Yeah.
You can't be doing that, especially in a game like this where it's already close. So I just think clean some things up, work on the defense. That's the most important thing for Missouri. But yeah, great game. Cinema.
And let's get into this. This one hurts. This one hurts me a lot. Kansas State dominated Arizona. It wasn't even close.
No, yeah.
Kansas State
no
won 31-7.
Yeah.
This one hurt me a lot with Noah Fafita. His dark horse, my dark horse Heisman. This one hurt.
Had a roll McMillan though. Still cooked.
Dog.
He was cooking.
Dog.
He's always cooking.
Dog. But Arizona, your big flaw is still the running game. They try to get it started early, didn't work, and they abandoned it quickly. Yeah, Kansas State got up a lot, so they were able to run, but still, the difference was Kansas State had 235 rushing yards to Arizona's 56. Now, it's a big thing. Like, the time possession was even killer. Arizona had a ball 30 minutes. Yeah. 30 minutes. Kansas State have for 29. Like, if you look at, like, the main stats here, it's kind of close up until you get to penalties. Penalties shoot you in the foot. We've learned that over and over and over again. Same with Georgia. Same with whatever team we just talked about, Missouri. This time, Arizona could not cover. They were not playing a bad team. Or
9 penalties.
Can't have 9 penalties, and their yards were 74. I mean, you can't have that. Arizona was flying around the whole entire night. Shout out Avery Johnson. I had my doubts of Avery Johnson going into this year. 14 for 20. He was a game manager Friday night. 14 for 23, 156 yards, 2 touchdowns. But this is where he makes his money. 17 carries, rushing, 110 yards. You can't get any better than that. And then Noah Fafita pretty much got outplayed. 26 for 42, 268 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yeah. The pick was bad.
I mean,
It was in
I
the end zone, looking over the middle. It was bad.
you if you're Arizona, you don't want to take this one lightly because this is a game that you should have went into Kansas State after they had a heart wrenching win last week against Tulane. And you're going into there throwing that you can beat them. That if you play Arizona ball, you can beat them. And they did, but it just didn't work out. Their defense was getting torched the whole entire night. Kansas State's defense was playing out of their mind. They were flying around. They were having fun. It's just you can't lose this bad of a game. You got dominated at all fronts. It's just you can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, you covered a lot of the big points. 235 yards allowed on the ground by Arizona's defense. That's not going to win you a lot of football games, especially when you're letting. I mean, we know Avery Johnson's mobile. That's kind of his thing. He's really good at that, but you can't 110 on the ground to the quarterback. And then Giddens had 17 for 86 and a touchdown. So it really, I mean, just absolutely worked through on the ground. The Arizona, you said run game really wasn't there. The only touchdown they had was from Quali Conley on the ground. McMillan's out there doing his thing, but we kind of know that that's going to happen. And even Fafita, I mean, the yards were there, but on 42 attempts, you'd like some touchdowns somewhere in there, for sure. And then the pick was bad. That was the few minutes I was on the game that happened. Right before that, though, he threw it up to McMillan on just the most he's down there somewhere play I've ever seen in my life. It was a Ryan Tannehill throw for sure. He just threw it up. McMillan did his thing. 11 for 138. The case is there for him to be the first receiver off the board. It wouldn't be for me. That'd be my guy over in Missouri. But yeah, the 9 penalties. Arizona, man, come on. This was the team. I can't remember where they were ranked, but they were definitely ranked higher than Kansas State. Not all lower seeded teams you beat. Ask LSU. But for Kansas State, a team that just came off a close game against Tulane, it was a good football team. But I think we both pick Arizona over Tulane in most cases. Yeah. You wouldn't expect Arizona to be the one that only puts up 7 points. And also shout out former Colorado Buffalo, Dylan Edwards, with a 71-yard punt return touchdown in this game. Colorado could use some of that right now, for sure. And I just want to go ahead and move on to LSU talk. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Kind of embarrassing. Yeah, you can cook.
I did not get a chance to watch a lot of this game. I was tailgating over at Southeastern. But when I did get to sit down and watch this, I saw a run
same
game.
Issues. It's the same issues.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Garrett Nussmeier did not have that good of a game.
No.
It was all right. It wasn't mid. It wasn't just okay. It was all right. It was in the middle. He had 24 for 40, 285 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. That's not that bad of a stat line if you stop throwing the ball so much, but he's Garrett Nussmeier. Honestly, I'll let him sling it too.
And the pick 6 that was called back, it was a horrible throw. I don't know what he was looking at. The guy was right there. I don't know what he was seeing.
Also, I just want to do this now on the pick 6. I didn't see. I saw a block in the back. I did not see a block in the back.
It looked like a blindside to me. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was.
I'm okay with it.
For once, we got a call that should have been called against them, and usually we're the ones that have that. But for once, we've been saved. I do want to shout out. We finally have a running back. Did you know what that was?
No, I've been seeing Josh Williams get 2 yards the whole season. So
Caden Durham true freshman.
We know he's him. He's him.
At
We knew that.
Duncanville. I mean, we call this early
Track
season
star.
and then Chris Hilton was out. Chris Hilton Jr. was out, and Aaron Anderson came in and stepped up. What a guy!
Comeback season.
The offense was there. Offense has been there, always will be there. We need to clean up third downs. They went 6 for 14. That looks like my road to glory when I try to run an offense. I mean, we have mistakes on offense. That's okay. We can have mistakes on offense. But on defense is where we need to patch things up. Now, if I see Sage Ryan out there one more time, I'm giving this one more game.
Hold up.
No.
He made a play on a forced fumble with Harold Perkins. Now, Harold Perkins really made the play, but he was there.
Exactly.
He blitzed too. That's the only thing I'll give him. But he can give me my fries for all I care.
Yeah, Sage Ryan deserves. I like a large fry, quarter pounder with a large McDonald's spike, please. I mean, he's still a bum. He's horrible. One of the better performing LSU members. But that just shows how bad our defense is. Whit Weeks was on for every play.
I hate this guy. He's so slow. He's so bad in coverage.
And of course, apparently our best player on defense, Braden Swinson.
Yeah,
dudes. I think on the real app here, where I have a lot of my stats, it shows like the defenses and like how the best perform from first to last. He's been in first for the past 3 weeks. I didn't know you noticed that. Harold Perkins been more towards like the bottom. Now he's second. He had a good game from what I saw. Still wish we could use him more. You know, he's the best defensive player, one of the best defensive players in all of college football. One of the most athletic. Please stop moving to the middle linebacker. Put him off the edge or something. I don't know. I don't really care. Just do something. But this is where I'm about to get mad. So, your defense, your LSU scores. Okay. LSU scores on a Josh Williams run. 2-yard run. Bang, bang, touchdown. We all go crazy. You're thinking, right? Okay, let's just get in prevent defense. Keep everything in front of us. 31-yard dot. This was a dot and a half by Ashford. Absolute, oh my, it was beautiful. It was cinema. And now I'm sitting there, I'm like this when they're 3rd and 8, 31-yard dot, they're in field goal range. I'm sitting here, I'm like this. I'm thinking to myself, we're about to lose to South Carolina. I'm about to go through a table and I'm about to shut down this tailgate. Like, we haven't lost to South Carolina since 1996. Keep that in mind. I mean, and then, you know, we're down 17. The start of the game, I was cooking. I was flipping some burgers. I was putting burgers on the grill. I was chilling. I was having a great life.
Sage Ryan should have been doing that.
I had water in my hand. I was chilling. And I looked down my phone. We're already down 17-0. I'm like, oh my gosh. This team
Lenore Sellers looking like a Heisman candidate. Good
grief. It was I looked down, I see that, I'm like, oh my gosh. We're down to South Carolina. We're going to lose to South Carolina. We're going to get blown out by South Carolina. And then I put my phone away. I'm tired of looking at it.
Yeah, that's what.
And then I look back at my phone. It's halftime. We're only down 24-16. I'm like, okay, something happened here. Look at my phone. See our run game. I said, we have a run game, folks. We are so back. And then third quarter, nothing happens. Legit. I think it was just 2 field goals that we got. That's all it was. No. Yeah, that sounds right. There's two field goals. Okay, cool. Can we do something now? Oh no, it was a Caden Durham touchdown run, and it's a 2 point. We tried to get 2 points like idiots we are, and freaking not get it. Defense locked down. Defense actually played like defense for once. And then
Second half, yeah.
Something happened going into that fourth quarter where our offense was like, hey, we're LSU, ranked 16 in the country. Last few years we had Heisman candidates. I forgot what those are. We have a good head coach, questionable play calling, but a good head coach. Let's kind of play some LSU football. And we go in there. I was going 14-9. I see them miss a field goal. I'm running through friendship circle. Okay, I'm okay with that. Look, something with LSU and making my heart drop every single time we play a team like this. Knowing darn well it's gonna happen again next week. We'll play UCLA.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be sitting there because I think if I'm not UCLA comes to us. UCLA comes to us.
Yep.
It's a lot different than us going there. We remember last time where we went to UCLA. Max Johnson behind the back thought he was Jason Williams.
Stingley getting cooked. Greg Dulcich had a legacy game. That's all I remember. He had like 300 yards or something crazy.
Remember DTR?
DTR was cooking us. Oh my god, that was one of the worst games I've watched, probably. And this was, I didn't get to watch it, but one of the more frustrating ones. And I had to watch it through a phone and through the real app. So I couldn't imagine if I had sat through it.
Oh my gosh.
Good grief, I would have thrown things. Luckily, I didn't. I don't know if I could have taken this game and then what we got with the Titans the next day. I think I would have. I don't know. I would have done something, run out in front of traffic or something. But Jacob, can I do a story time? Can we take a story time break here? The year is 2015. Okay.
Oh Lord.
The year is 2015. This was when we were supposed to play in Columbia. We haven't played there since 2008. So I knew some funky business was going to happen Saturday. The year is 2015. There's flooding in South Carolina. The game is moved to Baton Rouge. It was a Saturday game. They moved it on a Wednesday. This was a weird game. I was at this game. The Hurricane game. A rare Brandon Harris good game. I never saw that in my dang life. God. It was actually a good Brandon Harris game.
I remember. Oh.
No, he's horrible outside of that game. For some reason, he wanted to play good this game, maybe because I was there. I don't know. But I just want to shout out LSU's band, who played South Carolina's alma mater that game, which was very weird to hear at home. The fans cheered them as they came on the field, too. We were the away team in Death Valley. That was weird. And there was only 42,000 people in the stadium, and it normally seats over 100,000. So with all this said, there's a weird history, especially in recent memory. We haven't played there in a long time before Saturday. So when things started off horribly, there's no other way to put it, pretty horrible. Depression was setting in. Lenore Sellers, good Lord almighty, he looked like a Heisman candidate. Passing wise, he was whatever, but he's Lenore Sellers. He's going to run the ball. And our run defense really just frustrates me more each week. 10 for 88 on the ground, and a long touchdown for Lenore Sellers. And he didn't even play the whole game. I think the game would have gone differently, but hey, injuries happen. We move on. Good luck with Robbie Ashford as your quarterback for the next couple of games. Sorry. I'm really sorry about that. So, yeah, 17-0. I'm questioning life. A lot of things started happening.
Real.
Raheem Sanders. Burlock was in slow motion when he ran for that long touchdown. It was so annoying. We didn't set the edge. We still can't stop the run. I don't know who that corner was out there. Learn Chinese, buddy. He didn't even make an attempt
Probably
as he was running by him. I think it was. So, yeah, Raheem Sanders, 19 for 143, 2 touchdowns. I thought he was still at Arkansas. The way he was playing, I was really taken aback by that. The defense was bringing crazy pressure. Credit to South Carolina. And I read that before the game that's what they were going to do was blitz every single play. That's exactly what they did. And that's why we went down 17-0. We already can't run the ball, and now you're blitzing us on passing downs with our good O-line, but they've been a bit disappointing. I think we can all agree. We don't have any run game. And then our savior, he checks into the game. Caden Durham, true freshman. Bro was cooking. I'm not even going to lie. I had a stat line here somewhere. I lost it. I don't know where it went. I know he had close to 100. I think he had 2 touchdowns as well. But the offense was bad in the first half. Let's not beat around the bush. The offense was horrible. They were bad.
Terrible. Not horrible. Terrible.
I mean, it was terrible. It was hard to watch.
I cried. I cried.
I didn't watch. But you know what I mean. But I want to give credit to the defense in the second half. I want to give credit to the second half defense where we had 5 sacks total as a team on the day. Braden Swinson, he's our best defensive player. Until we use Perkwright, I'm going to keep saying that. 3 sacks on the day. He was going to be my player of the week, but I threw him in this segment, so I just wanted to recognize him. And a forced fumble later in the game. I love the guy. I didn't even know he was this good last year. But good to see that step this year. We need it. Perk actually had a pretty good day. Still, I agree. You said it. We're not using him right. Forced that fumble, like I said, with Sage Ryan. And that's going to be it for Sage Ryan for the podcast. I hope. I hate him.
Terrible.
Zaya Alexander, I believe this was his first game back, if I'm not mistaken. He had an interception of Sellers in the first half where he just kind of, Norris Sellers isn't known for passing. He just kind of said yeet and threw it in the end zone and got picked. Good play by Alexander to run back there and get it. Something to watch for our defense. I mentioned him earlier. Whit Weeks sucks. I don't know why he's on the field. I hate him. He's really bad. We really need to. I don't even know how it's possible losing. We lost. I don't know how to say his name. Gilroy. This past week, I think he tore his ACL. I want to say he's out for the season, or Achilles. I don't know. I forgot.
Yeah, something like that.
But we already lost him. If he was out there, maybe we stopped the run a little bit better. I doubt it. We really struggle against mobile quarterbacks. You saw that again today. Even when Ashford came in, he had a couple runs. They kind of do the same thing as a quarterback. But Kyron Lacey, I don't think 5 catches is enough for him. He did have a touchdown, 63 yards. So not the world's worst game of all time by a receiver. But I'd like to mention he's going crazy with the celebrations this year. I don't know what that's about. I think it's a little bit of a discipline thing personally, but whatever. Mason Taylor, shout out. Bro was mid last year, not gonna lie. But this year, having a great start. I want to give some credit to this man. LSU tight end all-time reception leader now, 91 catches. We're definitely not a tight end school, so I'm not surprised that he broke this record. My goodness, Thaddeus Moss is the most successful tight end we've had.
I love Thaddeus Moss.
In the past 5 or 6 years, 10 years maybe. Eric Gilbert doesn't count. I don't even know where that dude is at this point. Nebraska?
Dude, what? No, he's not on any team. He got dismissed from Nebraska.
Okay, yeah. That's not surprising. You hate to see it. Harrison Anderson. I said that wrong. Aaron Anderson revival year. You mentioned it earlier. 9 for 90. Wait, no. Yeah, 96 yards on the game for him. And then the running game, we talked about Durham, but I don't talk about Josh Williams. Bro stinks. we already can't get any movement up front, and then we got this guy whose max speed is like 10 miles an hour, getting 2 yards every time he get a carry. Great as a leader, I'm sure, and that's why he's on the field. And leadership and wearing 18 is going to keep him on the field, taking carries from Caden Durham and from Caleb Jackson. Caleb Jackson was all right. He had a couple runs. Still disappointed what I'm seeing from him this year. And then to kind of round it off, we talked about the pick six. It was controversial. I didn't see it.
Yes, very much so.
I don't know why bro threw it. It wasn't open. The guy was right there. I think Nussmeier needs to – his decision-making is going to cost us in some games. And it almost did in this one. He's got to clean some things up for sure. And then the run blocking still mostly bad, but they had a better day today. Pass blocking also had some lapses. Will Campbell gave up a few tackles for loss that I remember. Just really disappointing to even be down 17 to this team. Great fight by the guys to get back in it. Some things went our way, but every team has things go their way to get them wins. Don't blow a 17-point lead. Maybe you'll win some games, South Carolina. Sorry.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. Beamer ball, though, for sure. And we'll just move on to next week, hopefully, and not give up this to UCLA.
Definitely probably won't be watching again. Delegating. Hooray. But hopefully it should be a lot easier of a week. I'm going to go ahead and get that out the way. Should be.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to.
UCLA is bad. Yeah, they're bad. They're really bad.
I'm probably going to be editing it again, like next episode. I'll probably have an edit on YouTube next episode said, last week guys said that UCLA is easier. We lost. Womp womp. Probably it's happening. But to end off this college football episode, LSU, please do something that won't rip my heart out. South Carolina, get better on third downs, you bum. Boston College, you made me cry because you lost. Arizona, do better. And Georgia, screw you, I guess. All right, so that's out the way. Let's go into NFL right here. NFL Week 2 recap. I was reading I just read the notes from the team before game starts. So Jets lost Jets beat the Titans 24-17. And I read the notes right here. Rant. At least 10 minutes of me yelling. You could go get dinner or something.
You might as well, buddy. It's going to be 10 minutes. We're at the 48-minute mark right now on the video. Yeah, about an hour, 58 minutes. I'll be done. Can I just hop into this?
I might as well just go get studying done. But yeah, go have fun. I'm going to be another water.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. We lose. And this is not a totally surprising thing. I've been watching this for the past 2 years. But it's when you lose the first 2 games in the same manner. I mean, literally, Will Levis, meme of the week, then has another meme of the week where he's diving and flipping the ball out to the flat for no reason. Take the sack, young man. We could have had 3 points. And then he does this stupid thing. It's going to be on our thumbnail. I have his pose where he's flying in the air, flips it to Tajay Spears for absolutely no reason. Brian Callahan, you saw it in the news. They showed a video of him. He walks up to him and says, "What the fuck are you doing?" He literally said, you can read his lips. He's doing this. Oh my gosh, Will Levis. Oh my gosh. I want to start off with the Jets, though. All that to say, I want to get the Jets stuff out of the way first. I want to be a good reporting man and get both sides covered. The Jets are mid. I'm sorry. The Jets are so mid. Oh my god.
At least Braylon Allen. And Braylon Allen came to life a little bit. I mean,
Oh yeah. If you have a backup on your team, start them against us. They'll break out. I promise you. Um, their offense was all right. Shout out Titans defense, number one in the league. Baby, she need to make some turnovers, please. God help me get some turnovers. Um, their defense played mostly well. They lost C.J. Mosley. I want to say on the first drive or second drive. I don't think he came back in the game, and then Jermaine Johnson later, out for the season. You hate to see it. I like the guy. Obviously, he was on Last Chance U. I want to say he was on the Indy Last Chance U, if I'm not mistaken. You hate to see it. But then Will McDonald, who's kind of been disappointing to start his career, comes out and has 3 sacks. Oh, Nicholas Petit Frere, get ready to learn Chinese, buddy. 13 pressures? What are we doing? Block! 13 pressures? That could be Dennis Daly. You could have told me that was a Dennis Daly stat line. I said his name. I have to. You could have told me that was a Dennis Daly stat line, and I would have believed you. 13 pressures. Get ready to learn Chinese. Give me my fries. Don't forget my milkshake. So the offense, like I said, it was all right. Rodgers was, I kind of looked like a game manager. Sorry. Dinking and dunking down the field. But shout out our defense, man. That game to play. I love them. A backup, like I said, a backup rookie, Braylon Allen. I love the guy. I think he's going to be great. But of course, he broke out against us. That's just how things work here in Nashville. So Rodgers was 18 of 30, 176 yards, 2 touchdowns. Fine. Made some great plays, made some bad ones. Third downs, he was cooking us a couple times. Whenever he would take a shot on third down, I was like, well, I guess they're getting the first down before even seeing the play over. We're not anywhere near approaching the 2020 Titans third down defense where we gave up like a historic amount of conversions. But I saw a couple of glimpses of that on Sunday. Maybe that needs to be worked on. Nitpick there for our defense. Still number one in the league. It's the only thing we got going. Breece Hall, 14 for 62. The story of the rushing game was Braylon Allen breaking out, though. Breece was a screen merchant and then had that wheel route against Kenneth Murray. Kenneth Murray is already is not great in coverage. And then you put him on Breece Hall, who's obviously a dual threat back. He can make those plays. Kenneth Murray, learn Chinese, buddy, at least in coverage. Breece was killing us. The receiver room, I'm 100% right. It's Garrett Wilson and then a bunch of nobodies. Alan Lazar had a couple catches. Dinosaur Mike Williams, of course, came in and got his first catch as a Jet on a crucial third down because we're the Titans. So those things happen. You get to learn, and I'll get to learn through the season, seeing that it's going to be another horrible season. I'll get used to things like this. So now it's time to talk about the Titans. And that was about 6 minutes of talking about the Jets. This is going to be at least 15 minutes. Sit back, get some popcorn. But make sure the kids are put to bed because it's going to get expletive here in a second. First off, I hate this team. God. When you go up 7, the defense is defensing. You get into the red zone. You have 3 points. You can go up 10-0. This was like early stages of the second quarter into the first quarter. And then Will Levis does the thing. Again, another stupid turnover. We're back. I hope this is not going to be a weekly installment.
I hope so. I hope so. Be a great day.
-4 turnover differential through 2 weeks. Of course, that's last in the league. And that's not including your favorite, another blocked punt. Let's go. Yeah. We can protect our all-pro punter. I love this team. My goodness. Special teams is the worst in the league. It's been the worst for 2 or 3 years at this point. We're going to get this dude killed. We got him killed last year against the Colts. It's going to happen again. Mike Keith on Titans Radio. Shout out Mike Keith, Titans legend, voice of the Titans. We've had 4 blocked punts. Wait. Hold on. My notes are insanely out of order. Mike Keith said on Titans Radio, we've had 4 punts blocked in our last 3 regular season games. That's not winning football, is it?
Very Titan-like.
Yeah, we have the worst special teams in the league. It's not even close. Colt Anderson, please get fired. We fired the guy that we had last year. I can't remember his name, but he was horrible. Thought that would fix it. Here we are, first 2 weeks, 2 punts blocked. I hate this team. The defense is still very good, but Levis putting them out there twice on 2 turnovers, we don't need them out there more. That's not a recipe for success if you have a defense. You don't want that. So, yeah, we got dinked and dunked down the field a couple times. Still a great day for the defense. Yards-wise, we're still number 1 in the league, like I said, following week 2. But I'm going to be the Bernie Sanders meme here. I'm once again asking for you to create a turnover, please. That'd be the only thing I would say about our defense. Please create some turnovers. Next week, we should be able to do that, get some Malik Willis. And if we don't, oh, man, I'm going to lose my mind. Malik Willis comes into Nissan Stadium and beats the Titans. You will not see me on this podcast. No one will see me because I'll be in a ditch somewhere, dead.
I need it.
Sure. So, yeah, if we lose that game, podcast is over. Sorry. And then a couple more things for the defense before I move to the offense, which I really want to talk about. Harold Landry appreciation segment inside this Titans segment here. Dude's a stud. Tied with Derek Morgan in career Titans sacks after a 2-sack day. Just a Titans legend. Obviously had a great year last year coming off the ACL and continues to be underrated, starting out great this year. Since week 6 of last year, he has 12.5 sacks in 14 games. That puts him 3rd in the NFL in that span. I love the guy. A bright spot on the past few years' defense where we've been pretty unwatchable for the most part. And then this year, we finally get a good defense. And we can't score the football. And we just keep turning it over. And lastly for the defense, Ernest Jones. Rand was cooking when he traded for him. 100% snaps played on Sunday. Didn't play a lot week 1. No surprise, he's already playing all the snaps. Highest rated player for PFF. Again, don't put too much stock into those ratings, but him and Kenneth look like they fly around to the football. They both like to get in there, get tackles for loss, blitz. Kenneth is still horrible in coverage, really bad. The Jets were taking advantage of that. I mentioned the Brees reel route earlier where they scored on him. But defense, there really isn't anything I can point to and say, minus creating some turnovers.
Yeah.
You guys need to get better at this. Overall, it's a really good defense. It's number 1 in the league. And offense. Okay. All right. First quarter Titans, maybe a top 5 team all time. We were looking great. I was like, yes, we are going to get a good Titans football game for the first time in 3 years when I was settling in. And then the second quarter hit, and I was like, okay, well, we suck. Ridley was really good today. A big drop in the third quarter on a deep ball from Levis, one that he was actually accurate in for once. But then he made up for it with an amazing catch under being guarded by Sauce Gardner later in the game that scored a touchdown. He was definitely touched down at the 1, but we don't talk about it. He had 4 for 77 and 1 touchdown. And then he had a jet sweep on the opening drive for a touchdown. And I was like, this is cinema. We are here. We have an offense. Obviously, it all went downhill from there. Tony Pollard, I thought looked really good in week 1, and I thought he looked really good this week. We didn't send him to a Serbian prison and run him behind the right side of the line where he had no success in week 1. We ran him more behind the left side this week, which I like. JC has been great as a run blocker on the left side. Skaranski's a really good run blocker. So I just think if we're going to run the ball, and especially, again, the play calling was bad today, really bad. A little bit better than last week, but we need to run Tony Pollard left. That's obviously been our success on the run game. Tajay, not a ton of usage today. Very concerned, but he did go down. Later in the game, went to the locker room. Chestnut came in, took his place, a couple plays. Chestnut mentioned, we're here.
My guy.
And then continuing with the receiver room, Hopkins, he said he was 100%. He's barely been out there the first 2 weeks. So I'm starting to think that was strategy before week 1 when he said all that. Even when he's out there, he barely gets any looks. He had 2 targets today, only had 1 catch. Burks sucks. I don't know why we're trying to use this man. Nick Westbrook-Akine is clearly better. He's obviously had more success than Burks. Don't know why Levis took the deep shot in double coverage on his second turnover back-to-back. Took the deep shot on first down to Burks in double coverage. Honestly, the ball was placed pretty well by Levis. I was angry at first, watched it. Traylon Burks can't high point a football. That's what it came down to. He did like this, jumping over them. It went right through his arms and into the cornerback. If you put your hands up like you're taught, you catch the ball. And that doesn't happen. Or you at least bobble it and drop it and it's not intercepted. That's perfectly okay. But this dude, I've given up. Pretty much last year I gave up on him. And as a whole, we have the 4th lowest separation rate as a receiving room. I mean, it's just hard to watch. I mean, the only teams that are one of the teams I saw was worse than us was the Colts. And I thought clearly we had a better receiver room than the Colts coming into the year. But here we are. Just a bad O-line, indecisive Will Levis, and then 2 tough secondary matchups to start the season have really led to that separation number. Levis, I guess, was better today. I guess. In the 4th quarter, I thought he actually looked like an NFL quarterback for most of it, which was surprising. But he had that comedic turnover early in the game, and then the hallelujah prayer to Burks downfield, like I talked about. The throw was there. I don't love going for that on the first down to start a drive. And then the pitch turnover, you can't have that. I'm really getting tired of this. If he does it again this week, I'm going to lose my mind. The play calling stunk this week. The second half, we had 2 drives that we had the chance to take a lead, and we just kept it super duper tied down and conservative. We ran it twice one drive, and then on the 3rd down, we decided to do a sweep to Pollard, and we get like no yards. So I'm out here banging my head against the wall, watching most of the play calling in this game. But the flip side to that is we can't trust Levis. This is a prime example, and last week was too. His decision-making has been really bad to start this year. I'm concerned. A couple more bad performances, and I'm really thinking we need to start looking for another guy next offseason. And I don't know about putting Mason Rudolph in. It would have to get historically bad because there's no reason to put an old veteran in there when we don't have anybody on the offense to develop, really. There's no sense in putting a veteran out there. I don't think, at least. It would have to get horribly bad for Rudolph to even get a call from me to go in the game.
Yeah.
And the O-line, I talked about this. The O-line still can't consistently run block at all. But as I said, the left is way better than the right. Nicholas Petit-Frere sucks on the right side. I don't want to do anything that involves needing him to block on a play, pass or run. If we can just scheme basically as if we only have 4 linemen, that would be ideal. Because he's horrible. He's on pace for a Dillard and you-know-who. Already said his name. I won't say it again. And a you-know-who season MPF is headed for. Pass blocking was horrible. It was really bad. And it was mainly Nicholas Petit-Frere. And Dylan Radun's our right guard, who's a run-blocking guard. He's not good in pass coverage. Pass blocking. Jermaine was out there absolutely killing Nicholas Petit-Frere. And then Will McDonald came in, did the same thing. The dude's trash. I don't want to see him out there, but then you realize, oh crap, we don't have anybody better than this guy. We'd have to throw Jalen Duncan out there, who's wearing 71. So I obviously don't want him on the field because I don't want. Exactly.
Who?
7th round pick from last year. I don't want to see that man on the field. He's wearing 71, and I don't know why we keep letting linemen wear 71. So I do not care how bad Nicholas Petit-Frere gets. We don't have a better option. to put at right tackle. Get through some stats here. JC, 1 pressure and 35 snaps allowed this week. Yes.
God, what a guy.
We have a left tackle. Nicholas Petit-Frere, 13 pressures. That's the 5th most in a game since 2018. 39 PFF rating. That's honestly high for 13 pressures. Like I said, you could have said that was a Dillard stat, and I would have completely 100% believed you. JC had a 76 PFF pass blocking grade today. Great day. I'm loving what I'm seeing from him. He's having his struggles, but as a rookie, you take that. Nicholas Petit-Frere is a 3rd-year, 4th-year guy. 13 pressures. What are we doing? This is from A to Z Sports. The Jets pressured us on 60% of our dropbacks. That's the highest by any defense since week 13 of last year. And that is actually the highest the Titans have allowed since week 5 of 2022. Week 5 of 2022, you're talking about the beginning of the Daly era. And that was a dark time. The suicide rates were up in Nashville watching that man. I hate looking at that stat because last year was the same thing. You think can't get any worse. Enter Andre Dillard. Some stats he was actually worse than Dennis Daly. And then we come into this year. The left side has definitely improved, but then you have the right side just completely break down. It's like I said, we don't even have might as well not even have a right tackle on the field. That's how bad the ratings have been the first 2 weeks. Levis was pressured on 53% of his dropbacks through 2 weeks. That's the most in the NFL through 2 weeks. The next closest is Caleb Williams, who's at 43. So you saw how bad Caleb Williams' offensive line was Sunday night. Levis is a 10% worse. So that just tells you how bad this offensive line has been, pass blocking. But yeah, Raduns and Nicholas Petit-Frere, we can't do anything. We just kind of have to keep them out there until next offseason. We had too many holes to fill in the offseason. We can't fill them all. And that's just something we're going to have to address next offseason. Special teams, I'm not going to beat that horse anymore. It's the worst in the league. And these are just to actually wrap up here. I feel like I'm running like 20 minutes at this point. Levis is showing he's a one-read guy. And you could have put that together from his time in Kentucky. You could have put that together. He had performances last year where basically he was playing through one of the worst situations I've seen. Not as bad as 2022, I'd say, from a Titan standpoint. But the situation around him was so horrible that I wanted to believe that we might have a quarterback. And he's showing this year, I don't think we do. I'm not ready to give up on him. It's only week 2. Like I said earlier, it would take a couple more historic bad performances where I start thinking, okay, in the offseason, we need to fix quarterback. I think he can improve. A lot of things changed in the offseason. It's going to take a while to get used to it and really get settled in. But, I mean, he's either taking a sack, he's checking it down, or he's scrambling. That's all he's doing. If his first read's not there, those are the things he's doing. You'd love to see him go through his progressions. But when you basically don't have any linemen on the right side, it's kind of hard to do that. I don't see any reason to bench him yet. He has been horrible, but I just think mistakes even more this year are costing us these first 2 weeks. The bonehead pitch fumble by Levis, the prayer downfield to our 4th string bust receiver from 2 years ago. Those are things you just can't do, especially on first down, coming off the turnover. Literally back-to-back plays, those happened. You can't have that. Blocked punt. Are we a professional football team? Why do we keep having these blocked punts? It's like we want to lose games. There was a drive on the Brees receiving touchdown drive, roughing the passer on Jeff, which I thought was a soft call, but Jeff is known to do these things sometimes. Aaron Rodgers also gets in people's heads, so I think that's kind of why he did it. I just want this man to retire. He's not even that good anymore. But we just make too many mistakes. It's the same thing that happened last week. A simple way to put it that could have saved us the past 15 minutes to 20 minutes. We suck, and I'm not picking us in any games outside of this week and the Commanders week to win. So,
All right. I'm going to take over the reins because I am tired of sitting here. My back's starting to hurt. I'm going to take the reins for the Saints game. I'm not going to go into much depth. All the viewers, everybody saw what major butt whooping we just put on the Cowboys. Okay? No, after last week, I thought it was a fluke and a half. Cool, we put 47 on the Panthers. Oh my gosh, so cool.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse. Okay, I'm okay with that being Mickey Mouse. And then go into Dallas. The most psychotic fans I've met, and we drop 44 points. Keep in mind, this is the second most points since merger, and since 2019. No, sorry, 2009, and we all seen what happened in 2009. I'm just saying, I'm not getting my hopes up. Well, I am, but if it happens, there might be a party in the streets of Hammond, America. And you could say, it better get wicked. You can take that how you want. Shout, I don't know who to shout out here. Shout out the offense, I guess, for, last year. Last year's Saints offense made me single-handedly want to just look out my window, feel sad for a second, and then jump. It was bad. The fact we won as many games as we did amazed me. Maybe because our defense is also God amazing. Love them. Love my defense so much. I'm not gonna go into too much detail because obviously we've all seen the absolute terror. This 5-week stretch can tell us a lot what's going on with the Saints. You're going to hear me a lot when we play with our NFL picks for next week. The big one, I'm going to shout out one person. And it's not Alvin Kamara. It's not Derek Carr. And it's not Chris Olave. Rashid freaking Shaheed. This dude is fast.
Is Olave mid?
Olave's not mid. He only had four. He still had 4 receptions for 88 yards with Trayvon Diggs on him.
Carr just doesn't have. I don't think he has a great connection with him yet.
I completely agree. But that 70-yard bomb got right behind the 2 defenders. I saw Derek Carr sling that thing. I'm like, that is so picked. Oh, that's so picked. I'm sitting there. I'm doing homework. I'm writing a paper. I look up for just a second.
You're doing this crazy work.
No, I lied. I was eating. I was eating at a Chinese buffet. I was stuffing my face with 14 things of sushi. I probably got food poisoning because of it. But I look up. I see the phone. I'm like, and
you hit the Will Levis
in the bucket. The bucket. I'm like, some of my friends were right there next to me. They said, Jacob, what are you doing? I said, personally, I just saw something diabolical happen to the Cowboys defense. And at that point, when I saw that happen, we go 14-3. I'm like, yeah, we are going to win this game. And that's the Alvin Kamara beat the Alvin Kamara of old. Don't know where this came from. It just came out of nowhere. Taysom Hill is being Taysom Hill. I don't know what else to say. Or Derek Carr. I saw a stat. Derek Carr plays his best when there's election years. We all saw it in 2016. MVP front runner got hurt. Torched the Saints that week 1. Torched them. 2020. Not many people know. That's actually his best year to date. And then now 2024, we all see what's going on in the politics world. I really don't give a darn. I'm only 19. I'm just here to be honest with you.
They're eating the cats and dogs or whatever.
I don't
They're
know.
eating cats and dogs.
I was playing poker during that debate. I'm sitting there. I'm like,
yeah, I could care less.
What
I'm kind of screwed anyway.
Honestly. And I see Derek Carr torching this team. I'm like, hold up. I don't want to get overreactions yet, but hold up. Let's I want to sit here and think for a second. Who is this team? Where was this last year? And is Dennis Allen a good coach? It might be hard to believe. Dennis Allen was always a good coach. But
defensive coach.
But when you have Pete Carmichael as a freaking offensive coordinator, oh, that offense was so one-dimensional. It hurt me. It hurt me so much. Oh my gosh. But we have a team. I do want to go over to Dallas side real quick, just because, like I said, we got to be good reporters around here. Dak Prescott did not play that bad. I'm going to be completely honest with you. He did not play terrible at all. He went 27-39, 293 yards, had a touchdown, but the 2 interceptions did cost him. I mean, there were interceptions when they were down a lot at that point, honestly. There's no going back. But that touchdown to CeeDee Lamb, I thought at that point, I'm like, man, we better have cinema in our hands. 2 people broke out of CeeDee Lamb's tackle. I'm like, oh no, I got PTSD. Lamb sideline touchdown, I guess. Like freak. PTSD all of a sudden. They didn't run the ball at all. It was about 13 carries for give or take 91 yards between Elliott and Dowell. Deuce Vaughn came in, got 4 carries. Shout out Deuce Vaughn, I guess. Jalen Tolbert. I gotta talk about Jalen Tolbert. This man absolutely mossed the freak out of Paulson Adebo. It was like Paulson Adebo, great, amazing defense. Jalen Tolbert was just he did that and showed him his And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't care, we're still winning. Honestly, it was at that point we're still winning. I really don't know what went wrong. They had a punt, and then we just kept scoring, and we scored some more. Derek Carr is 15 for 15 for all his possessions so far with a score. It made my heart a little happy since I grew up watching Drew Brees and how beautiful those offenses were. Now defenses, not so much. But one of my friends did want me to say this on the podcast while I was here. He's a Cowboys fan. He generally said Dak Prescott should die in a hole. CeeDee Lamb is good. Jalen Tolbert is bigger. Derek Carr is the second coming of Jesus Christ. Alvin Kamara looks like Christmas Day Alvin Kamara again. Now, that's perfect segment to end off and to go into our regular schedule program. We're going to jump straight in here. We're not going to take too long on these, hopefully. Famous last words. Hopefully. I don't have much to say. We have Bucks Lions. This game was absolute cinema, personally. Low scoring game. Deep, gritty game. Lions frauds.
Secondary is bad.
Yeah, secondary is bad. We knew that going in. Jared Goff threw the ball, had to throw the ball 55 times in a 4-point loss. I'm no expert. I'm not playing second level of college football anymore. I'm no expert. But when you look at the side by side for the stats here, only thing that the Buccaneers are beating the Lions in is turnovers, QB hits, pass defended, and red zone. Lions have doubled the yards, like 8 more minutes of time possession. Buck went 2 for 10 on third downs. They lost the passing yards, lost the rushing yards. I I really I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of this game because, like I said, I was too worried about the Saints game. Um, James Williams is fueling my flex spot on my fantasy team. Wow, Jameer Gibbs is him. David Montgomery's him. Amara is him. I really don't know how the Lions lost this game. I really should. I really wish I watched it. Now I'm looking at it.
2 targets for Laporta. That's how you lose a game. Give me my king involved.
Rashad Wright is so unbelievably terrible. Oh my gosh, it's bad. Bucky, he's hurt this week, so Bucky Irving's gonna go straight starting to roll. In my MAIS stand up. Baker Mayfield is a dog. I don't want to talk about the Bucs anymore. I hate them still. But yeah, I'll let you take over if you want to.
Yeah. I probably have most of these recap games. I probably have too many notes. Minus the, I think the primetime games, I'll probably get through all my notes, but I'm going to skip around here. The 2 INTs by Goff. Come on, man. Now, credit to Todd Bowles. I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing from the Bucs defense. They're really running that with friendship every week because a lot of their players are unknown. So they're kind of just going out there playing for each other. Real cheesy, like Friday Night Lights type vibe they got going on defense. But credit to them. Now, I mean, Amon Ra still had a very good game, but it's very hard for anyone to contain that man. But when you force 2 INTs by Goff and you make him throw the ball 55 times for 300 yards and no touchdowns, that's a pretty good game for your defense. If I'm the Bucs, I'm feeling good coming out of this game. The ground game even worked for the Lions, but it didn't really do much to win them the game. Like I said, Laporta needs more usage. And even though the Lions defense had a good day, Aiden Hutchinson might have been the overall player of the week. 4.5 sacks, number 77 on the Bucs. I don't know his name, but they're going to need better play out of that guy because he got cooked. Brian Branch keeps showing out. He had a pick on Sunday. Second year, I think he's already working his way towards a top safety spot. They stopped up the run. The Lions did. But it's the secondary that I'm a little bit sus. I was sus about coming into the year. I think everyone was. We know they're young, but they traded for like Carlton Davis, who they got from the Bucs, and he looks bad to start the year. That was kind of your veteran you were relying on if you're the Lions to really lead. But I have faith in their young players in their secondary that they can develop, but they're just having a rough start to the year. Godwin had a big day, 117 yards. Baker was getting pressured a lot, but he had a good day. He ran for that touchdown to win the game with about 4 minutes left, I think it was. The Bucs secondary, they're giving up yards, but they're not. They're still holding for the most part. And again, it's a lot of young guys, unproven guys that they're kind of just making a name for them. Minus like Antoine Winfield. We know he's him. But I've just been really impressed with what I'm seeing from their defense to start the year. And I mean, week 1, they played the Commanders, so take that as you will. But then they come into this week, and I was really impressed with how they did. They gave up yards, but, I mean, 55 attempts and 307 passing yards for Goff. You take that if you're the Bucs defense, especially forcing 2 turnovers. But they need better O-line play for sure. That's one thing I would say for the Bucs. And I'll just take us into our next game. This was kind of the week of upsets. We just talked about one. I think most people were picking the Lions. This one, I don't know if there are 5 people on earth who picked the Raiders to win this game, especially in Baltimore. Ravens, what are we doing? We're 0-2. You take my king from me, and then you start out 0-2. Like, come on. Now, Derrick Henry did have a better game today. He did have another touchdown this week, 18 carries, 84 yards, much better than he did last week. Flowers even had a better game, 7 for 91 on the touchdown. Mark Andrews was a little bit better, only had 5 targets still. You want a little bit more out of him. Isaiah Likely did not have a legacy game like he did in week 1. They were up 10-0, but they blow another lead. The Ravens, they kind of do that. I saw a post somewhere where they lined them all up. Some of their recent games, big games, or just games in general that they've blown leads. So you're a bit concerned, especially when you look at their defense. I don't think their defense has been very good to start the year. You play the Chiefs week 1. Okay, you can, I don't remember how many points they gave up, but you take that. If you almost win it on the last play of the game, you kind of feel fine. But you wanted to see improvement from their defense this week. You didn't see it. Gardner Minshew was out there dealing. Not even going to lie. 30 of 38, 276 and a touchdown. Did have a pick, but who cares with those stats? And you win the game. Which the vintage Davante Adams game. Everybody loves to see this. Still one of my favorite players to watch. Jacob, you are muted. This is a questionable Ravens secondary, but
I just noticed I've been trying to talk for so long.
Yeah,
my fault.
This is a questionable Ravens secondary, but still, like Marlon Humphrey, I really think it's time. I think it's time, man. I'm sorry. I really think it's time. He had a bad week 1. He for sure. He got cooked in week 1 too. So Crosby had a 2-sack game this week. That just makes Joe Alt look a whole heck of a lot better in week 1 if you're the Chargers, who gave up no sacks to Max Crosby. Screw you, Chargers. I love JC, but man, we could have had Joe Alt. That would have been great. Running back, no one's stepping up for the Raiders. Concerned. I thought we were going to get a Zamir White legacy season. I got him in one of my fantasy leagues. I'm regretting that wholeheartedly. Last thing I'll say, 11 penalties for the Ravens. What are we doing? Come on. I know the coaching and the players are better than this. And then also, Brock Bowers love. 9 for 98. Breakout game.
Big guy. I'm just going to touch on a little bit. Shout out Gardner Minshew. We saw a little Jacksonville Gardner Minshew in him. As a man who loved Gardner Minshew, I once started him over MVP Mahomes and lost that week. But all in all, it was a great decision. I will stay by the decision to the day I die. Shout out Davante Adams. I love to see a good vintage Davante Adams game. Makes me miss him in Green Bay, even though he's torched the Saints multiple times. Shout out Brock Bowers. Love Brock Bowers. But the big thing when it comes to this Ravens offense, it's the offensive line. The Raiders' defensive line is pretty darn good. We've seen that over and over again. They got torched against the Chargers badly. But when they probably saw this Ravens offensive line, see how they did against the Chiefs, and they were licking their chops, ready to go after these kids. Mark Andrews is so terribly mid. He did not get any separation. I don't know what happened there. Zay Flowers is amazing. Thank God to have him. Derrick Henry had a great game. 18 carries, 96-yard touchdown. Hooray! Hey, Isaiah Likely. You can't have that good of a game. Just dip.
I picked him up and he did nothing, and I was like, "What are we doing?"
Bro dipped out of straight nowhere. I'm not going to go much in this game.
Yeah, we can move on.
That should have been a game that the Ravens went in and when they were at home, they led in pretty much every single stat. I mean, win the game next time. It's not that hard. I'm going to go straight into our next game here, which is I got a chance to watch again. Got a chance to watch a lot of this game. Vikings upsetting the Niners. Sam Darnold is the GOAT. I thought he was going to do this early on when he was on the Jets, personally, because I was very high on Sam Darnold coming out of USC. But to be fair, he didn't have any weapons, and he was seeing ghosts at the same time. So, but of course, he has a pretty decent weapon now. And what's his name? Justin Jefferson. Yeah, I heard he's pretty decent.
97 yards is crazy.
4 receptions, 113 yards. One was at 97, a bucket, yoink, and then just made 2 defenders miss for a touchdown. I never saw this until just now because I'm looking at the stats. Aaron Jones got out carried by Ty Chandler and out yarded. Keep in mind that for fantasy. I doubt that will continue to happen, but
Aaron Jones had a good week 1 though.
Exactly. I do want to shout out Jalen Naylor. Jalen Naylor. 3 receptions, 54 yards, touchdown. This was a really great game at the Vikings. They had I can't even get over about 400 yards of offense, 146 of rushing yards, 257 was passing yards. I don't want to get too high on Sam Darnold right now because we've seen in the past where Sam Darnold has played really good in the first few weeks, and after the bye week, saw that in the first year when he was in the Panthers. He had like 7 rushing touchdowns in like the first 5 weeks, something like that, and then took a dip and a half. But I'm just gonna move over to this other team. San Fran has a problem. Has a very, very, very big problem. And it's not just Chris McCaffrey being out. Because Jordan Mason's a good running back. We've seen it past 2 weeks. Debo is now out. Brandon Ayuk is
mid.
All that talk throughout the offseason wasn't money, and it puts up 4 receptions, 43 yards.
This camp, that'll happen.
Put fries in the bag, I guess.
Yeah.
Shout out George Kittle. I'm not gonna say anything bad about George Kittle. Never will. 7 receptions, 76 yards, touchdown. Absolute dog. Deep had a great game. 8 receptions, 110 yards. Did unfortunately get hurt more towards the end. But the big thing I want to talk about is Brock Purdy. He's a good quarterback by all means. He's good. He just can't make his own offense. That was the same way at Iowa State. That's the reason why he fell so hard because he was projecting more of a 3rd and 4th round pick going into the draft process, and it fell so hard because of the fact that he can't create his own offense. And we all saw how much this NFL is changing, that quarterbacks need to create their own offense. Lamar Jackson does it. He's trying to do his best right now. He's getting hawked down every single time. Patrick Mahomes is God in a finite form again. Freaking Derek Carr is torching some Cowboys defense now. Brock Purdy, without all the superstars around him, is okay. I mean, he still had a good stat line, 28 for 36, 319 yards, a touchdown. But the interception, it cost him. I mean, 49ers have a lot of problems going on. One is their offensive line. We knew that going into this year. Fred Warner got hurt on the same play Justin Jefferson got hurt on. I don't know the updates on Fred Warner. I know Justin Jefferson will be back next week, this coming week. Nick Bosa hasn't been playing like his normal Nick Bosa self. He has 2 sacks and 2 TFLs this game. But just everybody else around that defense is kind of lackluster. I do want to shout out Isaac Neodom. Their cornerback too. He had like an absolute bomb on top of him by Jalen Naylor, but other than that, great game. Tre'Davious Ward needs to go put fries in my bag after that game. That was bad. That was very, very bad. He's the one Just Jefferson guard on him, get absolute blurted. I
Yeah.
mean, as a team, as a person, it hurts me to see this team like this because I like the 49ers. Always have. I like Brock Purdy. I like Brock Purdy's story. I think people overrate it so much sometimes. Um, but you have CMC out. CMC was your offense last year, plain simple. And you can't. Jordan Mason isn't as good. He can't receive as much. You're pretty much got to rely on an actual true running back again. And last time that happened, Jimmy G was a quarterback, and they had Raheem Mostert, Carr's Hyde. Gosh, that was
Eli Mitchell's still there, I think.
oh yeah, Elijah Mitchell. What a guy! I love Elijah Mitchell. Juwan Jennings should be back. Should be a dog next week. Pick him fantasy. But that's all I'm going to really talk about them. What about you?
Yeah, this is definitely a Jordan Mason game again. He's playing really well through 2 weeks, stepping up, and CMC goes on IR, so he's going to be the feature going forward. But as you said, not as two-dimensional as CMC. I mean, few are, but Purdy I thought played well, but yeah, the pick late in the third when they were already down 7-20, like that's not what you need. Obviously, when you're already down. But like you said, Debo goes down. He had a good game, but Debo goes down. Will not be out there next week. It'll just be Kittle and Ayuk. So we'll see how Purdy plays. Anyone who plays in the San Francisco system is a benefit of the system and normally the weapons they have around them. But I do think Brock Purdy, he makes enough plays to where he's a good quarterback, but man, then you look at the stats when they lose. Like you lose a couple weapons, the stats really start to drop off. But yeah, I thought he played, well. We'll just have to see how he plays going forward. Losing Debo and obviously CMC's gone for a while. The O-line, they had a rough pass protection day to say the least. Gave up 6 sacks, 7 QB hits. You just can't have that. I thought they played well against the Jets overall. I thought they had a pretty good week. I can't remember their rookie guard's name, but he had a really good week 1. I just thought we were going to see some development from the, non-Trent Williams lineman. And we didn't see that this game. 6 sacks. It's not good. A 9-minute possession advantage for the Niners, but you're 2 of 10 on third down. Ugh, gross. Especially for the Vikings. Credit to Brian Flores, of course, but the Vikings don't have a world-beating defense personnel-wise, so 2 of 10 on third down is pretty disappointing. Their rush defense was absolutely torn apart by Ty Chandler and Aaron Jones. 146 yards total. You don't expect to see that. Fred Warner's him, though. 2 forced fumbles and a pick. He's been the best middle linebacker for a while. This just cements it. Darnold, again, have a good day, but it's 2 weeks into the season. I'm not putting stock into anyone. Unless you're the Panthers, then you're obviously going to be horrible. I don't want to put too much stock in any teams or players this early in the season because I don't think we've seen enough from Sam Darnold to really believe that he'll stay at this level for the rest of the year. Great if he does. Obviously he's had a tough start to his career, but yeah, he played great today. He did have a pick, but 268 yards, 2 touchdowns. 97 of it came on 1 touchdown to Justin Jefferson, who had a very, very good day receiving. Had 9 catches, 133 yards. Did leave with a quad injury. We'll see how that goes. My fantasy team's crying. I'm in shambles, banging my head on a table. I'm really upset to hear that. They still won this game, committing 7 penalties and losing 2 fumbles. And then you add in the interception, that's 3 turnovers right there. Just an amazing game by the Vikings. Brian Flores really impressing me. And we've known he's a good coordinator for a while. You even had Brock Purdy after the game going up to him saying, hey, your scheme's crazy, which is cool to see. So yeah, I'm impressed with the Vikings, but 2 weeks in, you don't want to go crazy for any team that starts out good. And before we get into a Bengals Chiefs classic, I actually want to shame the Giants because they're the Giants. Um, you score 3 touchdowns against the Commanders, you allow none, and you lose the game. Only the Giants, man. 7 field goals by the Commanders kicker, and they win the game. The Giants, man, Malik was cooking, but he did drop a pass at the end of the game. Kind of costly, but when you have 10 catches for 100-something yards and you're a rookie, you kind of look over it. And then obviously Jaden was out there cooking too. Didn't score a touchdown, but been the best rookie quarterback so far. I think pretty easily in a absolutely terrible, no good, very bad situation. Still playing very good. So yeah, we can get into the Bengals Chiefs game now. This was cinema. It was cinema.
It was.
I don't know how many times we've said that this podcast.
A lot.
So far, and we're almost at 2 hours. But this was cinema. Joe, coming off week 1, Patriots game. We certainly didn't pick them to lose that game. Our pick'em record stands pretty trash through 2 weeks. Not gonna lie.
It's all over again.
A better game for Joe. The passing game looked much better. They always play the Chiefs well. Chase was getting strapped. Not gonna lie. Absolutely strapped. Had a costly penalty late in the game too. Just a really boneheaded, yelling at the ref excessively. Who knows what was said. The tackle he was angry about did kind of look like a hip drop based on the guidelines the NFL has provided. Obviously, that's what he was upset about. But Joe played great. Like I said, 23 of 36, 258 yards, 2 touchdowns. The fumble was returned for a touchdown by the Chiefs. Shamari Connor picked it up. But I thought he kind of looked like he was down. I don't know if I saw enough angles to really say. But ended up not mattering because they had a chance to win at the end of the game. Andre Yosevas, I think is how you say it.
Oh, Joseph.
2 catches, 2 touchdowns.
What a guy. Love him.
He had I don't know, I guess 2 or 3 yards, but 2 catches, 2 touchdowns. That's good.
MMG legend right there.
The Bengals, they looked at the Ravens game from a week ago, and they were like, all right, our tight ends are going to have career days. This is the most tight end yards that the Bengals have had since Burrow's been there. 150 yards, 151 yards total for all 3 of their tight ends. Their passing game was really just that. That was really the majority of their passing game. Chase only had 35 yards, 74 rushing yards. The rushing game's still not there. Thought we were going to see more, but you lose Joe Mixon, you bring in Zach Moss. Obviously, that's a downgrade. The story was the Bengals defense. That's what kept them in this game. Trey Hendrickson, he's been really underrated for the past few. Yeah, Saints legend. He's been really underrated for the past few years. He was getting pressure constantly. I saw 2 sacks and 3 QB hits, but it felt like he was getting to the quarterback a lot more than that. And then the 2 picks of Mahomes, Cam Taylor-Britt, he was talking game before the game, and he made one of the greatest interceptions I've seen in a long time. So I was very impressed by their defense. Mahomes, that was his worst passing game, second worst. The other one he left the game early. So he forced 2 picks, 18 to 25, 151 yards. You play Mahomes pretty well, and the Bengals always do. Controversial ending to this game. I don't know how I feel about it. It looked like the DB would hit him early, but I don't know. The receiver's falling back and hits the DB while he's jumping. It could have gone. That wasn't a clear and obvious rigging, in my opinion, which you do normally see with the Chiefs, unfortunately. But yeah, the Chiefs, they just kind of got held in check. This was a great defensive coordinator battle. Steve Spagnuolo and Lou Anarumo. So you knew it was going to be like this. And then Isaiah Pacheco fractured his fibula. You hate to see it. He's going to be out for a while. Carson Steele season, and I will leave you to take over.
You pretty much said everything I was gonna say. Actually, around the money. We're gonna go over to the Bears and Eagles game. Bears and Texans game. I'm gonna skip over that. I'm gonna talk a little bit about this Falcons Eagles game. Guys, this is the game I've been wanting to talk about all night. So Eagles. You get down to the 10-yard line. By the way, I want to put this out. If you watch the game, they did a little boot pass to Saquon. Great call, amazing call. Actually, great play calling. There was about 9 people in the box from Atlanta. They were ready to do everything to stop that run. And when you do a little play action boot to Saquon, it worked. But if you're Saquon, you cannot drop the ball. Plain and simple. Okay. Only reason I'm so passionate about it because you lost the freaking Falcons. Gosh, I hate the Falcons so freaking much. I saw a meme earlier. You could take Saquon out of a Giants uniform, but you can't take a Giants uniform out of Saquon. At that moment, Saquon go put fries in my bag. He had a really good game.
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts is a fraud. I'm gonna say that plain and simple. He's a running back. He's a running back. Dude does not know how to read a field at all. He knows how to take off.
Cool. He didn't have AJ though.
I don't care. Maybe because I'm a big Jalen Hurts hater. That's maybe the LSU.
I don't like him either.
But when you pass 30 times
after the bowl game, I'm okay. We cooked him. I felt that felt made me feel better.
That's fair. After he threw 30 yards. He attempted 30 passes. Okay, when you pit 30 passes, you're expected about 280 to about 300. That's about 10 yards every pass. Hit 183 yards for 6.1 passing average. Fraud. Now this is where he's a fraud. He's a glorified running back. I thought Lamar Jackson, when his rookie year was his second year as a glorified running back. No, Jalen Hurts is worse. 13 carries, 85 yards, a touchdown. Good. How do you still lose the game though? Plain and simple. Like, you cannot let prime time Kirk go. Kirk Cousins, my dog, love Kirk Cousins, hate that he's on the Falcons, to absolute come back and torch you like that. They had a 97% chance of winning. And only a Nick Sirianni led team can be that bad. I'm not going to say too much about it. I really don't want to talk about the Falcons, but I will because good sportsmanship. Shout out Bijan, 14 carries, 97 yards with 4 receptions, 25 yards. Shout out Drake London getting a touchdown. Shout out Darnell Mooney getting a 41-yard bomb.
Tulane legend.
Kyle Pitts, please spare me the sadness and just tell me when you're going to get a touchdown or not. Please, I'm begging, please. I'm begging, please. Kirk Cousins, masterpiece. Kirk Cousins, masterpiece right here. 20 for 29, 241 yards, 2 touchdowns. All I can have to say to that, you like that? Yeah, I like that. Still hate that when you said that against the Saints. But that's Devontae Smith, great game. Amy Louisiana, legend. 7 receptions, 76 yards, a touchdown. Outside of the Saquon Barkley, Saquon still had a great game. 22 carries, 95 yards. Did miss out on the end zone, but that's okay. Jahan Dotson. I'm gonna take a second here.
Fries in the bag.
Jahan Dotson. So I'm thinking, man, yeah, Jahan Dotson. It's a great trade. He's a wide receiver 3. Y'all have heard me. 1 reception, 6 yards. 1 rush, 6 yards.
And no AJ.
and also got outsnapped by a guy named Britton Covey.
Oh
Who?
yeah, Britton
Who?
Covey. I don't know.
I don't know that guy either. He's, I don't know, but the freak. Um, I don't know. Put fries in the bag, I guess. John Dotson, you're a first round pick. Do better. Um, I'm tired of hating on Jalen Hurts. I'm gonna move on to defense now. White boys, defensive backs can stand up, be celebrate. Reed Blankenship, our Lord and Savior, for white boys for DBs. Absolute dog in this game. Our other Cooper Dean don't really play that much because he's not really that good. He's good at everything. He's just not great. Jalen Carter was benched because for an earlier event he missed at some sort of team event earlier in the week. This defense played pretty all right. All right. I'm not gonna say they're good, but they're pretty all right. They got a lot of TFLs. That's what kind of the Eagles defense are. They got 3 TFLs. They got after Kirk. They just can't really get anything done. Shout out Quinyon Mitchell. He held his own as a rookie. It's just this defense is just young. CJ Gardner Johnson needs to learn how to actually play a game of football. He hasn't done that at all. Screw that man. Jordan Davis is large. He sucks, but he's large.
Yeah.
You need Jalen Carter out there this week. No playing simple. Jalen Carter do better. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, you covered a lot of it. Time of possession, that was an Eagles stat. They dominated it. Still ended up losing. Your defense kind of gets worked that last drive. Loses you the game. Darius Slay, he's not horrible at this point in his career, but he got cooked by Drake London on that touchdown. No way around it. Put the fries in the bag just for that play, to be honest. The run game was great tonight for both teams, in my opinion. Time of possession was dominated by the Eagles in this game. The run game was really great for both teams. The secondary I still don't like from the Eagles, and it's very young. But really, you saw it in the last drive. There were some issues. Even with a veteran like Darius Slay who gets cooked, it happens, but cost you the game. It sucks. I think the Falcons defense was okay. They played well in the secondary. AJ Terrell's kind of fallen off in the past year or so, but I thought he played okay tonight. No AJ Browns, obviously. That helps your defense a lot. We don't have to worry about him. But Devonta Smith played really good in the wide receiver 1 spot. Saquon, another excellent game. Bijan, you said, shout out. Pitt's fantasy owners are crying once again with his 3 targets. Please end my misery. I'm really upset. I really thought he was going to have a better year. Drake London was kind of just okay / kind of not that noticeable for most of the game until the last drive. And then the Kirk beat the allegations. I think he's now 4 out of 5 his last primetime games. He's won or something like that. So he's doing better. We can just move on to college football week 4. Make our predictions. I think we only have 4 games. So.
Yes. All right.
First one is going to be 5. Okay.
Yeah.
First one is number 11 USC going to Ann Arbor, Michigan. Number 18 Michigan. This is just a classic Big Ten matchup, of course. Happens every year. I always look forward to it. I'm picking USC to win this game. And I'll go through a couple of my reasons and I'll hand the floor over. USC is coming off of a bye, so they got that rest. Even before the bye, they played Utah State, who they shut out 48-0. So, that game might as well not have happened. So you get the week of rest. I'm assuming Miller Moss is going to look like the Heisman candidate that he did in week 1, barely miss any throws, and play like a 5-year NFL veteran. Michigan has been giving up yards through the air. It's the rush defense that they're still pretty good at, but I don't think USC is going to try to run the ball. So seeing what Quinn Ewers did a few weeks ago to Michigan, I think that's what USC is going to look at and try to do that, especially with their passing first offense. I'd like to see some Zachariah Branch, a big game from him, 75 yards through 2 games. That's not good. USC's defense is a lot better this year from what we've seen so far. And Michigan's running out Orgy this week. Davis Warren sucks. He's really bad. 3 picks against Arkansas State. Are you kidding me? He's thrown a pick in every game he's been in. So there might be an Orgy in the end zone. I hope there is. Give the guy a chance at least. Just the run game, even for Michigan, talk about their offense a little bit outside of their QBs. The run game is going to be their focus. Donovan Edwards has been mid this year. Khalil Mullings, the backup, has 120 more yards on the same amount of carries. Mullings is averaging 7.5 yards a carry as well. So I just don't trust Michigan's quarterback situation or their pass defense in this game. So I'm going to take Michigan 27-16.
Honestly, I don't think this game is going to be anywhere close. Let's face it, Michigan's offense is awful. It's terrible. It's very, very, very hard to watch. I watched that Arkansas State game a little bit at least. David Warren, he didn't incomplete the pass, if that helps. But 3 of his incompletions were to the other team. No, not just another team. Arkansas State, a Sun Belt team.
Yeah.
And USC's offense is going to tire out that Michigan defense just like Texas did. And Michigan's offense will not be able to keep up. And it's just going to be the same story over and over and over again. I honestly have USC winning here 35-7. I don't really think it's going to be that close.
I was generous to Michigan.
Yeah, very much so.
Very generous.
The game I'm actually really excited for is our next pick'em. Let me get to my notes here because I just got off my notes for a second. Number 24, Illinois, which I just found out they were ranked earlier. Did not know that.
They beat Kansas.
Yeah.
That was a big one.
To Nebraska. Nebraska's ranked for the first time probably in my lifetime. To be plain and simple. Love them, but it's true. It's Friday night, 7 p.m. I'll be watching this.
Well, no, I can't.
I personally, Nebraska's win this game. I have them winning. This game has to be a lot closer than people think. The big thing that is with Illinois is, are they able to stop the Nebraska offense? Because Dylan Riles looked like the number 1 quarterback in this class year, game in, game out. We saw him how he played against Colorado. He torched that team. I know it's Colorado's defense, but still, oh my gosh. Emmett Johnson looks like the real deal. Looks like a really good running back. Ramir Johnson looked pretty good last week as well. As a New York dog. You still also got Dante Dowdell. Dowdell? That's not right. But the big thing, I think Illinois' offense can keep up. Luke Ottmeyer is a really good quarterback. He has not thrown an interception all year. Pat Bryant is a dog. Oh my gosh, Pat Bryant is such an absolute dog. Zakir Franklin is a dog. I remember watching, I think it was Not the Experts, Illinois' rebuild. And Luke Ottmeyer sucked. Oh, he was terrible. And I thought, oh, that guy was just sucked in. Now seeing this now, shout out him. Shout out David Alano, their kicker. I don't give kickers much love around here at these parts, but he won the game against Kansas for them. And just all in all, I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game. So I'm going to have Nebraska actually winning. Sorry, so my eye. I'm winning 35-30.
I also have Nebraska in this game. I think it's going to be a little bit lower scoring. 24-20, Nebraska. Friday night, wish I could watch. Can't. But I'm really excited for this game. I think it's going to be, like I said, I think it's going to be a little bit closer. I think we both think that. I feel like a lot of people might be picking Nebraska just because, Rayola. Not a lot of people know that Luke Altmaier is actually a really good quarterback. At least from what we've seen this year. I mean, almost 700 yards, 6 touchdowns, and like you said, no picks so far this year. He was 16 of 25, 192 yards 2 weeks ago when they beat Kansas, and that was kind of their big win for the season. They're looking to build off of that. Pat Bryant, as you said, 2 touchdowns in week 1. He had 2 touchdowns last week. And Zachary Franklin, who also, they're going to be their 2 receivers that they're going to look to get the ball to. The defense has only allowed 2 offensive touchdowns this year, 151 passing yards per game. That's pretty good. Kansas, they have a pretty good passing offense, but this is a really passing first offense that they're going to be playing this week. So we'll look to see how that holds up. Nebraska's coming off a 34-3 thumping of Northern Iowa. It's Northern Iowa, so you expect to score like that. 2 weeks ago, they dominated Colorado, who is also not good. So this is going to be their first real test. Even though you think at Illinois, they might not be very good, even though they're ranked. I think this is their biggest game easily so far of the year. And this is going to be a good game to see how Dylan Raiola does as a true freshman. Almost 700 yards, 5 touchdowns, only 1 pick on the year, 73% completion percentage. I mean, as a true freshman, these are really good stats to start a year. Maybe the competition hasn't been, top notch, but still from a true freshman, these are good numbers. Distributing the wealth, their top receiver only has a little under 200 yards. So they're working the ball around in Nebraska to get the ball to several people. Jacory Barney Jr. is probably going to be their second option at receiver. And they like to utilize all 3 of their running backs. Dowdle, Emmett Johnson, Ramir Johnson. I think all of them are going to get involved in some way. And they've also only allowed 2 offensive touchdowns through the year. Nebraska's defense has. So we're going to see. I'm excited for this game. You wouldn't think so normally when you see Nebraska Cornhuskers versus the Illinois Fighting Illini. But I think this is actually going to be a pretty good game. Even now, I'll take us into this next game. I'm also pretty excited for number 12 Utah going to Oklahoma State, who's ranked number 14 right now. I'm going to take Utah 31-28. I think this is Utah's biggest real eye test game for me to see how Utah does. They played Southern Utah week 1, Baylor in week 2, who sucks, and then Utah State in week 3, who somehow put up 21 on Utah. You don't love to see that. That gave me a little bit of pause, but they do get Cam Rising back, who did not play last week. Cam Rising honestly needs to get on LinkedIn. He's like 25. I think Alan Bowman of Oklahoma State's like 24 as well. So this is a very old QB matchup. They just need to get on LinkedIn. But Cam Rising, coming back this week. Coming off an injury, so we'll see how he looks. But based off of last year where he was very good, I think they're going to have a very good day. Against Oklahoma State, Taylon Green was dicing them up of Arkansas a couple weeks ago. So I think Cam Rising is definitely a better passer than Taylon Green is. In the run game, they really got dominated by Arkansas. So I think Utah is going to need to lean on that. I was a little bit concerned, a few things that I saw about Oklahoma State in that Arkansas game. I think Utah's gonna have a big game. I really do.
Okay, I'm on the opposite end of here. I'm actually going Oklahoma State. Um, so for some reason, when I was making this prediction, I'm gonna double down on it. By the way, I thought Isaac Wilson was actually gonna be the starter for Utah. Because I only see reports that Cam Rising was out for 6 to 8 weeks for his tetanus. Well, then I realized my idiot self fell for that whole report. Um, so does freaking Deion Sanders. So I'm not gonna say the same thing. Um, but it is gonna be Cam Rising. I'm gonna double down on my pick still. I just reevaluated while you're cooking. Um, because the big thing that Oklahoma State does that Utah doesn't do as good is a running game. Yeah, Michael Bernard is actually is out rushing Ollie Gordon. Woohoo! Ollie Gordon is still the best, still top 5 running back in all of college football. Alan Bowman is a good quarterback, but I agree. Get on LinkedIn, buddy. I heard some businesses need a new CEO soon. But I think that what's going to come down to is defense and defense, even more defense. Utah's defense gave up a little too much to both Utah State. But yeah, it's just Utah State. I just realized it was Utah State. My fault. Utah State's not good. It's not Jordan Love anymore. They're not good. It's plain and simple. I do want to shout out Isaac Wilson from that game. Isaac Wilson, big fan of Isaac Wilson out of high school, but I just don't know how I feel about Utah yet. I may be just being overthinking it, but I really think Oklahoma State at home in Stillwater will not dog walk them, but it's gonna be a very gritty game. But I think I think Oklahoma State's defense is going to do just enough to stop them. And I'm going to take the upset here. I have Oklahoma State winning 28-24. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring us into our next game here, which the game is a game I'm actually don't think it's going to be close at all, to be completely honest with you. It's Tennessee versus Oklahoma. Tennessee's going to Oklahoma. This is the real only intriguing part about the game, personally. We all saw last week Oklahoma dog walk Tulane with a leash around their neck, dog walk them. But I watched the week before they played Houston, and they pretty much got beat badly up until pretty much that fourth quarter is where the defense stepped in. Houston outdid Oklahoma so much on every single level of the whole entire game. Jax Arnold is good. Put KJ Daniels out there. Bowling Green alumni right there. Absolute dog of a wide receiver. I think Tennessee is going to go into Oklahoma. Norman. Dylan Sampson is going to run all over this team without a doubt in my mind. Nico is going to hopefully play some safe football. That's the only thing we're going to bank for. And since Oklahoma don't have a good running game, Jackson Arnold is going to have to pass a lot. And that's the thing that Tennessee defense want the most, is they want Jackson Arnold to pass the most. So I'm going to give it Tennessee winning 42-21.
Yeah, I'm taking Tennessee. They're averaging 63 points a game. Now, they haven't played teams like Oklahoma yet, but I'm still very confident. I don't totally love Oklahoma's defense. I'm going to take Tennessee 37-15. This is going to be high scoring for Tennessee again. They're not going to reach 63, I don't think, but I think they're going to have a very good offensive day. Nico's been airing it out this year. It's really, I think Dylan Sampson's their best weapon on offense. He's having a great season. 4 games over 100 yards. Had 4 touchdowns last week. It was Kent State, which is basically Ben's Ford. But this is the first. This is the first test for Tennessee. Their previous big game was NC State, and we saw how that went, 51-10. Not even close. Now, no one's really surprised by that. That's why I say big game. This is their first big game. Of course, like I said before, this is just an SEC classic right here in Norman. I'm looking forward. I'm really excited already this year to see Texas and Oklahoma. I think it's going to make some interesting matchups now that they're in the SEC with games like this. Jackson Arnold's another gunslinger for Oklahoma. The big thing, he can do some running as well. Nico can run, but Jackson Arnold, I think, is going to get involved in the run game. He had 2 rushing touchdowns last week against Tulane. On defense, R. Mason Thomas shut down several Tulane drives last week. Had, I believe, like 3 sacks, I want to say. So he'll need to have another big game against Tennessee if they want to keep Tennessee off the field. That's what you want to do. That's going to be their only chance in this game. The pass defense held Tulane to 166, but this is not Tulane. This is Nico and Tennessee offense that's averaging 63 points. So I just think Tennessee is going to take control early and ride out to a pretty big win and a statement for them. And then we can get right into the LSU game. Last time we played UCLA, it's over. It's in the past. I think we're going to win 31-14. I almost wanted to give us more points, but, we'll see. I just can't be too confident. I think we need to run it down their throats, no pause. I want to see Durham lead us. What?
Sorry, keep going.
I thought that was pretty reasonable.
I don't know.
I want to see Durham lead us in carries again. I think Brian Kelly said something like, I don't think we found our top back yet or something after this performance. And I'm like, good grief, dude. What else do you need from the true freshman? I just want to see him lead us in carries. And we need to get someone like CJ Daniels more involved. I guess maybe he could also get open more. But I think we need to involve him more in the offense. Lacey needs more targets. For the love of God, if the 122nd ranked rushing offense runs all over us, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm not even going to lie. On the flip side of that, UCLA is allowing 87 yards on the ground. I think we need to blow that open. With our O-line finally showing their strength. Pause. I'm going crazy right now. I don't know. It's late. UCLA is going to want to make a statement on our secondary, which is still kind of mid/trash. A guy like Rico Flores, I think he had a pretty good big game earlier in the season. I feel like he was one of your players of the week when we did this. He'll need to be watched closely by our cornerbacks, who they're just young. I don't know if I trust them totally. UCLA just got dominated 42-13 by Indiana. That's really bad. Like Indiana, they had Curtis Rourke looking elite for Indiana. Speaking of quarterbacks, Nuss Bus legacy game. That's what I want. That's what I want out of this game. So yeah, 42-13. 31-14. I was looking at an NFL score. 31-14. I'm taking LSU.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. There ain't really much to talk about it. UCLA isn't that good of a team. They struggle really bad versus Indiana. I'm winning 35-10. I was thinking about just doing 42-10 just a second ago, but I was like, you know what? Just because how last week went, and just because I'm still mad from last week. I'm still mad from USC, but that's besides the point. And Nichols. I'm going to say 35-10. We're going to score 5 points in the first half. Don't know how that's happened. And somehow score 35 points. And that pretty much ends our college football thing. I don't know what our record is. I don't know if we kept up with that one yet.
Um, it's on the. It's going to be on the graphic.
Okay.
I have it. It's on our. Yeah, it's on our pick'em college football pick'em. I'm 4-2 right now. We've only done this 2 weeks, and we pick certain games, so the
Yeah.
records aren't crazy. You're 5-1, so I mean it's pretty close.
Keep up the hope. The only one that we have different is Oklahoma State, so it's gonna be like that for first few weeks.
Yeah.
But to go in, to end off this college football week 4, it's some just crazy words. UCLA sucks. Tennessee's better. Oklahoma State's them. Ollie Gordon's my dog. And Michigan's offense is so hard to watch. I can't believe I'm gonna watch that game.
I want an orgy in the end zone though.
It's not all right. So NFL week 3. This one, I feel like some of these games. Week 2 was crazy. There's a lot of trap games in here. This first one, including Thursday night football, an absolute snoozy. I don't know if I'll be there for it personally because I don't feel like falling asleep watching a football game. But the Patriots going to the Jets. I don't know what to think anymore about the Patriots. They've won week 1, lost week 2, and now I'm thinking, are the Jets good? I don't know anymore. I picked Jets anyway. I don't have a score because I forgot to put scores down, but I do pick the Jets at the predicted score. It's gonna be a slow score, like 13-7. Personally, I'm not gonna too much get in detail on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Jets 17-14. I just really like the Patriots defense. I think they're gonna hold pretty much mid Jets offense so far anyway in check. They're gonna need a big offensive game. Their first big offensive game, the Jets will. And I want to see Gonzalez versus Garrett Wilson. That's a matchup I want to watch. The Jets D is a little bit. They had some injuries and obviously a holdout that's still going on. So it'll be interesting to see how the defense does this game. But yeah, I'm going to take the Jets.
And then I'm going to go ahead and take a little small second to say this. Packers at Titans before Gabe goes on a little segment. I don't know how long it's going to be for. I'm going to take. I don't know. I don't know what to think about this game either. This is another snooze fest. Gabe can have fun watching it. I will not be personally. I don't know. I hate these early. I
have to watch the Titans.
I'm gonna take Packers. I have Packers on here. I'm gonna stick with my pick. Take Packers. Probably another snoozy game, like 16-10 or something like that. Honestly.
Yeah. I'm gonna actually. This is gonna be rare. I'm gonna actually pick the Titans this week. Malik Willis is a bad quarterback. I said I was gonna take this one, and then the Commanders week. Those are the only two I think that we could win. Malik Willis is a bad quarterback. Don't let last week fool you. Josh Jacobs won that game. Malik Willis just played inside the system, and the fact that the Colts defense is horrible, and they're gonna be even worse. They lost Buckner too. The Packers defense is good. I don't think, and obviously our offense sucks, so we're not going to score a lot of points. This is going to be a 17-13 game for me. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I think we'll barely win. I kind of feel even bad giving the Packers that many points. I actually 17-10. That feels better. This is not the Colts defense. Malik Willis is going to struggle. If we lose this game, oh man! I said it earlier. I won't be here anymore.
There.
I only have 3 or 4 other things I really want to say for this. Don't get a punt blocked. Levis don't have the worst turnover of the week. Challenge impossible. Stop being Superman too. You don't have to do everything. Defense, be defense. And Jeff and Sweat versus Josh Jacobs, who's coming off a big game. That's what I want to see.
Honestly, this third game is also a trap game too. Now I'm thinking about it. Giants at the Browns.
I don't have anything for this game.
I don't want to pick the Browns just because of Deshaun Watson.
I don't.
But I'm gonna do it anyway. Browns winning another snooze fest. Gosh, I hate the Giants. I hate the Browns. I just hate everything about this early set of games. Um, I'm just gonna pick the Browns. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna
It's so
do a score
bad.
anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Browns, but like barely. This is like a 10 people are gonna watch this game, maybe 10 people. Um, Malik, I want to see Malik against a good secondary. Daniel Jones is the problem though, so he probably won't even have a good game. Over under 3 turnovers for Daniel Jones, probably over. Um, and then Deshaun actually played better in week 2. I hate to say anything positive about the man, but he did look better. I think he'll probably play pretty good today. Today, Sunday. I think he'll play pretty good Sunday. Giants defense is bad. So yeah,
All right.
whatever.
Now this game is gonna be a little better of a game to watch. The Bears going to Indianapolis for the Colts.
Little.
Okay, 2 young quarterbacks versus with one with a bad offensive line with a good offensive line. It's just really they're both big play heavy. I hate NFL right now. I don't know why. I love it, but I hate it. I hate picking these games. They're a lot more stressful. I'm actually going upset here. I believe the Colts are favored. I'm going Bears. I believe this is the game where Caleb Williams shows out. They get one game going. I think this is Caleb Williams' game that he's gonna play good.
Yeah.
The only
Colts defense is horrible.
I think Latu from the Colts is gonna have a game here. He's gonna get pressured. He's gonna pressure Caleb Williams because the Bears' offensive line is terrible. I feel bad for Caleb.
It's horrible.
But just all in all, I had the Bears beating the Colts here. Not really by much. I think this would be a little better game. I actually have a score here. I think that it's got 24-21.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bears. 24-13. I think the Bears defense is really good. I think AR, he was horrible last week. There's no way around it against the Packers. And I think this is a better defense he's playing. The Colts defense is terrible. And they just lost to Forrest Buckner. I think they're going to have a really long day. I think this is, like you said, this is going to be Caleb's breakout. The only thing I'm concerned about still is their offensive line. We didn't talk about the game, but they gave up 7 sacks against the Texans. He was running for his life that whole game. I think this might be a big game for the Colts defensive line, but their secondary is so horrible that I can't really feel good about them. Also, not really about the game. Why are the Bears playing 3 straight AFC South teams to start the year? I just don't feel like I see this very often. But, yeah, I'm going to take the Bears 24-13.
This also feels like another trap game. The Texans going to the Vikings. Jettis is hurt, but he's going to be okay. Honestly, I think this is where the Vikings meet their maker. Texans had a rough game on offense with the Bears, but Bears' defense is also pretty good, if I say so myself. I actually think it's more a high-scoring game than anything. I think the Texans are going to beat the Vikings. I think about 35-31.
I'm going to say Texans are gonna win this one. I think it'll be 31-21. I just kind of I don't know. I need to see if Jettis is going to play or not. That's going to change my decision, at least score wise for the Vikings. I want to see the Texans D line versus the Vikings O line. I think that's something to watch. I think Stroud and company is going to cook the Vikings secondary, and then I really want to see a Stingley versus Jettis matchup. That's what I really want to see. I think that'd be cinema.
And then so next game, I'll let you do your pick first. Eagles going to the Saints.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be a close game. I think it'll be 24. No, yeah, I'll go 27-24. Yeah.
Okay, Eagles.
It's gonna be a close game.
I would disagree. Obviously, I'm not gonna be biased. I'm gonna try my best to be biased with this one. I have the Saints here off a statistical standpoint. Um, Eagles defense isn't that great. They're young. Um, they're undisciplined. I truly just don't think they're gonna stop us. And our defense is gonna rock. Is gonna raise havoc within the Eagles offense. Um, with especially on defensive line versus their offensive line. I think that's a matchup I'm willing to take. Saquon's going to get his way against us, I believe. Devontae Smith is going to get open. I think AJ Brown is going to get open. Jalen Hurts is going to scramble against us. It's going to happen. But I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think this game, I know I'm saying it again, it's going to be cinema. Honestly, this game is going to be really good. I have the Saints winning. I have like another about high scoring game with how both offenses are. I actually have Saints winning 35-28. And then now to a low offensive game, a gritty game, a game that your grandfather loves to watch, a game that your dad just says, "Hey, now that's how you play some football right there." To the Chargers, and go to the Steelers. Chargers run game is insane. Love it. Oh man, I love watching Chargers now. I was back and forth with this one. I ain't gonna lie, but I don't think Steelers offense is gonna do something. I don't know. This might be a game that the Steelers offense is gonna do something because the Chargers defense isn't as good. But I'm gonna have Chargers winning 18-10, simple, just like that.
I think it's going to be Chargers 17-14. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be the Chargers run blocking versus the Steelers front seven. It's going to be one in the trenches. We just need to see if Fields will continue to take care of the ball, doing surprisingly well to start the year. I think that's going to be a key for the Steelers. They're going to have a chance to win this one. It is home for the Steelers, so that could play into it. And then J.K. Dobbins will look to keep the train moving on the ground because he's having a really good start to the year. And we can go right into the next game, which I think is going to be a good offensive game for one team, and that's going to be the Buccaneers winning over the Broncos. I even lowered the score. I think it's going to be 30-13. The defense has been impressive for the Bucs, but I mean it doesn't really matter because the Broncos' offense sucks. It's really bad. I hate watching about it. I hate thinking about it. There's nothing I like. The protection's bad. Bo Nix is bad. Weapons are horrible. Bo Nix is I think he's 0 touchdowns, 4 picks, I want to say. So I just think this is going to be a horrible game. They might not even reach 13. I'm being generous.
Same boat. I don't want to watch. I'm not going to be watching this game. Broncos are bad. Bucks are good. Hate to say that, but Bucks are good. It's honestly these next two games. The next game is the Panthers at the Raiders. I'm not going to say that much. I don't care. I don't care if Andy Dalton is starting and Bryce Young is.
Oh my God!
First of all, terrible move by the Panthers front office.
It does not matter.
I think this was a David Tipper type move. I don't think this was a what's his face, David.
Yeah.
What was the head coach? Yeah, David Canales. I don't think that was his. I think it was a David Tipper call.
Yeah.
Hate David Tipper. He's ruined the Panthers organization. I have Raiders winning here. I think Gardner Minshew is going to have a day. That Raiders off defensive line is about to. Oh my gosh, Andy Dalton better be running for his life. Man, there's not much to say.
I got the Raiders 24-6. The Raiders could honestly score more. The Panthers could score less than that. That's how bad they are. Andy Dalton brings you experience, but the protection's horrible and the weapons stink. It doesn't matter. The defense isn't even good. Guys like J.C. Horn aren't playing well this year. Derek Brown's already out for the year, I think a week or two ago. I think against the Saints that happened. How the Raiders passed against the Ravens, who aren't a very good secondary. Minshew could hit 400 in this game, honestly. I wouldn't even be surprised. Panthers stink. Let's just move on to the next game. This is going to be, I think, a big Seahawks win. I'm going to take them 24-10 over the Dolphins. Skylar Thompson's season is going to be ugly and hard to look at. I'm not going to watch it when they get the ball on offense. The Seahawks actually have a good defense now, so that's good to see. Been a while. I just think it's going to be very ugly. I like to watch Tyreek and Waddle against Tariq and Spoon. I think that's going to be a good matchup. But when you have Skylar Thompson as your quarterback, I think the advantage is going to be to Tariq and Spoon. Geno and the boys could have a big day against the Dolphins defense, who kind of got gashed. No, they got gashed. They didn't kind of. They got gashed against the Bills Thursday Night Football.
Okay.
So yeah,
I'm doing it. I'm taking the trap game on this one. I'm taking the trap game. I'm gonna do it.
no,
I don't want to. I don't want to.
Skylar
When I
Thompson.
originally made this pick, Tua was on IR. Say he went on IR. For good reason. I'm glad he went IR. Please think about your life. I pray for you. Like, I'm being dead serious. We like to joke around here. But Tua, please stay healthy. I have no one to hate on when he misses throws. But I'm taking the upset game. I don't know why I am. Honestly, I have no statistical aspect to prove. I am.
You're 0-1 on the
I can
week
see it
already.
But I have, for some reason, I have faith in Devon Nation. I have faith in Jalen Wall. I have faith in Tyreek Hill. Now,
Okay.
do I have faith in Skylar Thompson? Skylar Thompson ruined my life last year while watching him in the playoffs. Or 2 years ago. Sorry, 2 years ago. Skylar Thompson made me question every single decision while watching at Kansas State. Now, I think he brings something to this offense that Tua don't have. Rushing ability.
Tyler Huntley?
I am. That's not an option.
Maybe.
Scoob is one of the best backups in all of football. I doubt he plays this week. If he does, then it should be a little bit easier of a decision for more of a trap game. But I had Dolphins in the trap game, and I have another trap game going up for the Lions. I'm going to move on to the Lions going to the Cardinals. I'm going to pick the Cardinals in this one. Still don't know why. Trap game again. They played really, really, really good versus the Rams. Kyler Murray looked like the guy that we all thought he was, and it looked like old Kyler Murray before his ACL injury. Mark Harrison torched that Rams secondary. Trey McBride is the top 3 tight end in the league. I'm gonna say that now. Plain and simple. The only thing I'm worried about is that the Lions will probably take good advantage of is the Cardinals defense. But the Cardinals defense held their own versus the Rams like mildly. I know Cooper Kupp went down. They don't have Puka. They were legit relying off Jordan Whittington. Jordan Whittington. I love Jordan Whittington actually. DeMarcus Robinson and Taylor Johnson. I think that's his name. Tyler Johnson. Which you'll hear me in just a second. I'm gonna take Cardinals. Trap game. The Lions have to go to Arizona. I think I believe in Kyler on this one versus that Lions secondary.
I think it's going to be high scoring. I'm going to take 30-28 Lions. Goff just needs a bounce back game this week. The Cardinals offense, will they stay on the high from last week? Probably. That's one of my keys is like Cardinals secondary versus the Lions secondary. Who plays better? I think those are both kind of going to be indicative of how this game goes. But yeah, I'm going to take the Lions. I think this could be a close one. I honestly could see it either way with the way the Cardinals played last week and the way the Lions played last week. Move us into, this is maybe the biggest matchup of the week. Ravens at the Cowboys. I think this game's going to be really good. Glad it's in the late window so I can put it on after watching the Titans probably lose. I'm going to take the Ravens 34-30. I considered just seeing what the Saints did, and maybe the Saints are good. We don't really. I mean, 2 weeks they look good so far. Just seeing what the Saints did to the Cowboys, I just think Lamar is gonna have a big day. I really do. I think this is gonna be the get right game for the Ravens. Um, but I could see it going either way with the way the Ravens defense is playing. That's why I think it's gonna be close. I think both teams need the bounce back win. I would say the Ravens. The Ravens need this one more,
Yes.
in my opinion. Um, the Cowboys did just get shellacked by the Saints, but the Ravens lost to the Raiders at home. So the Ravens really need this one. Yeah. The Cowboys defense was bad last week. Had a pretty good week one. But we realize that the Browns suck. So that week one looks less and less good as the weeks go by. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I think it's gonna be great. A game of the week probably. Take the Ravens. I'm going to take the 49ers. This could be close. I actually had a bigger win for the 49ers, but then, Debo's going to be out this week. I kind of figured CMC would be out this week when I made my prediction, but I didn't know Debo was going to be out, so I think it's going to be closer. But, I mean, Rams, no Cooper Kupp, no Puka. Ooh, man. I'm very concerned. But I just don't think the 49ers. I'm also concerned about their weapons. They still have Ayuk and Kittle, but so I think it's gonna be a closer game. The Niners' run D really needs to show back up. They kind of got gashed by the Vikings, and I feel like the Rams are gonna lean on that. Kyron Williams, I don't think has had a great start to the year based off of last year, but I think the Rams are gonna lean on that. Unfortunately, injuries are already killing them. I feel like this happened to the Rams a lot. They're already getting killed by that. My Stafford MVP pick, my dark horse, has been tanked by injuries. I just don't see it happening anymore. Even though I think he's playing, pretty well given the circumstances this year. So yeah, I'm gonna take the 49ers, but it might be close. Will lead us into our first of three. Our three final games are all prime time. I was not aware there was two Monday Night Football games, but this one, our Sunday Night Football matchup, is actually pretty good. Chiefs at Falcons. 28-17, I'm going to take the Chiefs. I do have more confidence in the Falcons coming off of last week, where they played pretty good against the Eagles. But I just think the Chiefs. The only thing I'm really questioning is no Pacheco, but they talk highly of Carson Steele, so we'll see how well he fills that role. Obviously, he's not going to be Pacheco, but I think they'll still work to get a bounce back game from their passing game against a pretty good Falcons secondary. But I'm going to go ahead and take the Chiefs. They signed him. Yeah. Yeah. Mid. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to take the Bills 27-17. The Jags offense has been concerning, to say the least. I've been impressed with Brian Thomas. Ball knowers knew that he was going to play really well. 2 weeks in, he's really playing well both weeks. But part of that is the Jags are a deep shot team. I think that's really what they want to do. Trevor wants to go deep. I think he's looking deep, maybe too much to start the year. Because like Brian Thomas he is a deep threat receiver. Gabe Davis is a deep threat receiver. Christian Kirk has pretty much been a non-factor in this offense to start the year. I know Evan Ingram got hurt like warming up for last week's game. I don't know if he's going to be out this game or not. Actually, I meant to look at that. I don't know. But I still think the Jags offense has been concerning. Seeing how the Dolphins offense, I mean, the Bills definitely got some Tua mistakes, but the Bills defense looked pretty good against the Dolphins offense. The run game, I think, is something that the Jags should lean on. I think that's actually a weakness of the Bills still. But their defense was flying around in Miami. I just think they need to consider really game planning against the Jags run game because I think they're going to lean on that. But I'm still going to pick the Bills. In this next game, I don't think either of these games are great on Monday. The next game, Commanders at Bengals. Jaden in prime time on the road with a bad O-line, underwhelming receivers, and a top defensive coordinator he's playing against. I think this could be a really – I don't want it to be, but I think it could be a rough game for him. It may not even all be his fault. I just think he's a really bad situation. His defense stinks, and they're playing Joseph Burrow, and Chase will be out there. T might be back this week. I'm not sure. Haven't checked on that. I think even with no T, I think this is going to be a big win for the Bengals. I'm going to take them 24-14.